I have every intention to win in Edmonton. That's my only focus.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Big Apple Hockey. It's been a long time since the last time we've been on air, a whole 24 hours. So it's great to be back and great to be talking more about the NHL and the coming season. This time, it is our NHL preview. And, of course, I am your host, Mark Williams. Delighted to be back with my two partners right here. And, of course, the host of the Final Buzzer, and a man who I'm going to ask what weapon he would actually use if he was a Ninja Turtle, Mr. John Filkowski.
Is this the very first game? Because if it's the first game, it's Donatello. I mean, the staff is literally like a cheat code in that game. If you lose Donatello in the very first NES game, you're screwed. So it's the staff.
All right. And from the hockey news, Mr. Anthony LaRocco, and what weapon would you use?
You know what? That's a good question. Maybe the nunchucks.
Well,
that was quite the mashup of an intro you had, by the way.
Yeah, I kind of tried to mash it up really quick. I loved the one we did for the Rangers. I love the one we did for the Islanders, and I was trying to get the number one issue in the NHL. Even though we're going to have 5 questions about the coming NHL season, the Triforce of Hockey is back. Yes. And even though we're going to have a mashup of 5 questions, yeah, I actually accidentally had it covered for a second, so I didn't get to fully read it. Make sure, everybody, you like, share, and subscribe to Big Apple Hockey. We're going to have 5 questions as I keep trying to get this sentence out about the NHL season, and we're going to pick who's going to various different categories, as well as who's going to win all the awards and the Stanley Cup. Stay tuned on that one. Before we get started, Filk, do you have any thoughts on the preseason games that you've seen so far?
To me, the Rangers looked good through probably about 5 periods of hockey, and then they just took a complete dump last night in the third. I don't know what that was. And Talon Boyko, I'm sorry, is just not an NHL. I don't even know if he's an AHL level goaltender at this point. So yeah, they lost that game due to some really bad goaltending and some sloppy plays at the wrong times in the third. That overall, I love what I've seen from guys like Scott Morrow, Jackson Dorrington. Gabe Perreault pulled a 180 and went from looking kind of meh, like he was almost sandbagging it in the rookie camp and rookie games, to absolutely turning it on the preseason. It's night and day. Noah Laba has looked decent. He's got to work on moving the puck a little quicker. I counted probably about like 4 or 5 turnovers from him last night in the neutral zone. And I would say that you have a couple of other guys that have looked pretty good. Yaroslav Milosh is somebody that I think might end up getting a call up at some point in the season. Big, good skater, uses his size effectively along the boards. The grind plays out. That's somebody that maybe they could call up in an instant. Matt Rempe has looked good in the preseason so far, surprisingly.
Yeah, that Dylan Rubrek goal was all because Rempe actually used his size and leverage.
Yeah. Rempe's skating looks like it's improved a little bit too, which I'll give him credit for. And yeah, I know, what was Fox doing on that play? Brett Berard, definitely, he's got a motor. Mike Sullivan's gonna love him. And I think Connor Sheary might be playing his way onto this team.
And Anthony, what are your thoughts on the first 2 Islander games in the preseason?
First off, I often wonder how bad Josh Allen would steamroll you if he was running you at the goal line trying to get in his way. You'd be like a cartoon character. He'd have to scrape you off the grass.
It'd be like
I
a
was
roller,
not a
and then
great
he
tackler.
would fall like this, and then
Yeah.
he would just be there flat. You'd have to you'd have to put the pump in him to get him back to normal.
Yeah, I was not a great tackler. When I would play schoolyard football and such, I'd play cornerback. Is one reason why I ended up never trying out for high school football. So Josh Allen would destroy me, much the way Dennis Aberle ran right past me one time.
Not so far preseason. Again, I always kind of say the preseason, what you're really looking for is you're seeing the growth of the young guys, how they're developing. The results really don't matter too much, win or lose. It's more about the systems, the process, and again, how the young guys are kind of ramping up their game and seeing if they could play at the NHL level. But for me, particularly last night, Callum Ritchie, he had 2 points. He had a primary assist on the power play goal by Heineman, which was a great touch pass.
Very good, very solid
his
goal
was
right there.
nice. That was a
And
nice
then,
shot.
and then his goal. I mean, he stepped into that wrister and it was just a beautiful shot. He looks the part. So, I mean, that's encouraging. Obviously, we talked about Matthew Schaefer, his ability to skate and what he's done so far. Shabanov looks pretty good. So those are really kind of the main 3 players I've been looking at. Other guys like Isaiah George, I mean, he's going to fight for that 7th spot with Boquist. He looks solid again. Even though he got sent back to junior today, Kayshawn Aitchison, I was impressed by how he played. Composed guy. But yeah, I think, for the Islanders, as you get closer to the regular season, really their biggest question is going to be, does a guy like Cal Ritchie crack the lineup? I think other than that, there's really no question marks of what their team's going to look like.
Yeah, I think, and you kind of nailed the nail on the head with that one, Anthony, because what you want to see in the preseason is you want to see the structure. You want to see if guys are able to, like, in the case of forwards, the 2 Gabe Perreault goals, I look at and go, those are goals in the regular season. Take, for instance, the Connor Brown goal last night. Even Hogberg, middle of the season, he's got that one. That's a soft goal.
Yeah.
There's those goals left and right. Everybody has it. Shesterkin let one in that he had no chance on, so there was no problem with that. And I even forgot the Rangers backup's name that he used last night. What was it? Boyko, was it?
Boyko, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Nikita Zadorov scored the game winner, stopped, picked the corner, and just skated right off the ice. I mean, that basically sums up sometimes what the preseason is. It's like the NHLers look at it and go, I got this goalie beat, and that's it.
And this comment from earlier, like Ethimont stole Fox's lunch money on that one. Like he just got
he stopped skating.
He got caught standing still.
Yeah. It's the one time when Fox looked bad in the entire game.
Yeah. But again, it's preseason. You work out the kinks now, and all that. Again, you're not really looking at the end result. You're looking about more, how the teams are acclimating to their systems and execution.
Yeah, that's why I like what Vladislav Gavrikov did last night. I thought he was the best defenseman on the ice. I just think, he scored a shorthanded goal. He was just all over the place, the right place, the right times, and this is going to be night and day for Adam Fox playing with Gavrikov as opposed to Lindgren.
By the way, Phil, did that shorthanded goal remind you of something? Like that Keandre Miller shorthanded goal from Mika Zibanejad in round 1 versus the Capitals 2 seasons ago? Because it was basically identical.
It almost looked like the Barclay Goodrow overtime winner against Florida.
That was another one it seems like a lot of. So it's just like,
shot from the same location.
Yeah. And this time, although I think Gavrikov just basically scored it, went over, tapped the gloves. That's it. For the veterans, it's just getting started, getting ready for the season. For the young guys, it's trying to prove that they're there. So it's kind of like a weird combination. I do think hockey's got the best preseason because they play their stars for the most part. I mean, obviously split up for the entire time, but you're really seeing guys trying to make it, and I don't think anybody goes out of their way to injure somebody, say like the way somebody trying to make an NFL roster would try to do, but or it would get a little bit too exuberant. Not saying anybody's trying to injure. You guys know what I mean. All right, guys, let's go to the A block where we're going to go into our NHL season preview. We've already done Rangers and Islanders season previews. Make sure you guys take a look at that. And, of course, the A block is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use the promo code Big Apple Hockey for $20 off your first order. And, of course, Big Apple Hockey trucker hats and shirts are available. If you haven't watched it before, Ranger fans, watch Filk's What Ifs in Rangers history, as well as, we got several other videos on this channel, so look up plenty. Guys, let's go with what the NHL 25-26 season is going to be. And I guess usually we do like a season overview when we're doing teams. Let's just go right into the 5 questions. It's kind of pecking at our that are right on the top of the headlines. So let's go with this one first. Will the Dallas Stars or the Carolina Hurricanes finally break through and win a Stanley Cup? Phil, what do you think?
Win a Stanley Cup? If you were to say to get to the Stanley Cup Finals, I would have said maybe, but if this is Bar Talk, I'm going shot here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Carolina's good enough to make it out. I don't think anybody's beating the Panthers. I just don't. I think once they get everybody back, I think they're also probably going to have space to make a deadline move or something. And, even looking at their team, I don't even think they need to make any deadline moves. I think the forward boost that they're going to get is Mackie Samoskevich. You're going to see him develop this year. And I mean, if he was still a rookie, I think he would be up for the Calder this year because I think he's going to get more playing time with the absence of Matthew Tkachuk for a while. So, I think the Panthers they're really the team to beat. I don't see anybody beating them in the East. And Dallas, I could see them getting to the finals, but I don't think they'll win.
Yeah, we're gonna have our final picks later. Anthony, do you think this will finally be the year that one of these teams can break through?
No, I don't have either of them winning the Stanley Cup or going to the finals for that matter. Carolina, I think we all said in terms of the Metro, I think we all agree that they're going to finish first. But with that said, I still don't think that they're good enough to go all the way and win a Stanley Cup. Something about that team, I'm not totally sold on them in terms of reaching the ultimate prize. And Dallas, I mean, they've knocked on the door the last couple of years, right? Conference finals, a bunch of years in a row. They're a very good team. I mean, Rantanen, as you know, will be back in Dallas with his long-term deal. Duchesne's back there, but I just don't. I don't know. With the addition of Mitch Marner in Vegas, I think that's going to elevate them to another level, in my opinion. So I think they're going to have them to compete with, and obviously there's the Oilers again. As long as McDavid and Draisaitl are going, they're going to be in the mix. So I think, don't get me wrong, both these teams are really good. I could see both of them winning the division, and whatnot, but I don't know. I don't think any of them are hoisting Lord Stanley this June.
The question I have with Dallas is how do they fix that right side defense?
That's a great question, because usually in the past you've seen teams, by the way, that have lost in the playoffs. Like, well, we use the Florida Panthers for example. They lost to the Tampa Bay Lightning. They got swept, and they basically went back to the drawing board and said, "We need a brand new identity." You have a team like the Rangers that 2 years ago lost to the Florida Panthers, and or 2 seasons ago, I should say, and then they went back and basically tried to field the same team and try to do it all over again, and it didn't work. So now you got Dallas, which is trying to do it with Glenn Gulletson, and he's I just don't know what the new identity of the Stars is going to be.
That's a good point.
Are they going to be the same thing? Are they going to be better? Are they going to be worse? I mean, it took time for everybody to see it. I remember the saying was playoff style of play in the regular season for the Panthers, and then they made the 8th seed, and then they ended up pulling off the biggest upset in NHL history over the Boston Bruins, and then they go on to the Stanley Cup Finals and really start a dynasty from there. From losing in the Stanley Cup Finals, they started a dynasty. And you look over at Carolina, they made some changes. The question is, can Brendan Moore ever get his team over the hump? And that's a whether it's fair or unfair, that's a big question. He's won one conference finals appearance in one game in the 3 visits that they've had there. That's something that's got to concern you. And does Carolina have that game plan to really succeed in the playoffs? I'm not sure if that's the case. They might be able to get out of the Metro. I don't know if they get past, to say, a physical Florida Panthers team. And for people that might want to say, oh, well, what if they don't play Florida? Well, yeah, what if they do? That's the other part of that. So I'm not really seeing how Carolina has their way in, despite how good of a team that they are. But we're going to debate about that one in a minute. Let's go over to the team that won the President's Trophy, had the best record in the league. Will the Winnipeg Jets take a huge step back? Anthony, what do you think?
I was a little surprised when you posed this as a question, because I don't know. I mean, granted, I know they didn't make big changes in the offseason, and they lost Nikolai Ehlers, so I guess that's kind of where you're coming from with this. But I still think that, for me, I think they're the Central Division winners. They got the best goaltender in the world. Their defense beyond, Morrissey and, Pionk, it's not the best group from 1 to 6, but I think they're solid enough, and they still got, a lot of weapons with Kyle Connor and Shifley. Velarde took a big step forward last season. Cole Perfetti took a step, and he's probably going to keep getting better. So I like their team a lot. Short of Connor Hellebuck getting hurt, no, I don't think they take a huge. And the word "huge" too is another one for me. That's like, if you said, will the Jets take a little bit of a step back? Sometimes after you have a really, really good year, like the Bruins, like 2 years ago, that was ridiculous. Of course, they came back down a little bit, but I mean, huge step back. And I mean, again, like Phil said for the first question, if this was Bar Talk, for me, this would be a shot layup in my opinion. No, I don't think they're taking a huge step back. I still think they're the class of the Central, and I think they're going to be a really good team.
Hot take right there. Jeez,
that's a hot take right there. So we will have which coach might be the first one to get the axe soon enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, Anthony, I purposely phrased it like that because I don't want them to just like get a second place finish and then that's a step back. Because no matter what, they're taking a step back because they won the President's Trophy. They're the best record. So how much of a step back are they going to take, if any? Phil, which one do you think?
I think they'll take a step back, but I don't know if it's necessarily huge. Their defense really isn't that good on paper. It's not. And Morrissey's really the only one that's like a legitimate top pairing guy. Pionk is maybe a 4 or 5. I know people will probably say he's a 4 because he's a good puck mover, but I really don't think he's all that good in his own zone. Dylan Sandberg is emerging. He's becoming better, but is he a legitimate number, 2, 3? I don't know. Dylan DeMello, solid depth piece, but he's really a bottom pairing guy. And then the rest of it is filler and depth. I like the Taves acquisition, but we don't know what you're getting with him. Like, that's a complete wild card. The one thing that I will say that works out in their favor is the fact that they have Cole Perfetti, who's going to be playing for a new contract this year. And that's big because he's a restricted free agent at the end of the year. And he actually played the most minutes that he's played in his career last year, 15 minutes and 11 seconds per game. So he 50 out of his 50 points, 35 of them were at even strength. So he only had 15 power play points, 5 goals, 10 assists on power play. So that's someone who's probably going to get more power play time with the exit of Nikolai Ehlers, and that bodes well for the Jets. Not only that, but Anthony pointed out Gabe Vilardi, how big of a step he took last year. I mean, that's big for Winnipeg because I think he's going to continue in that direction. Again, he's probably going to get more time, more power play time. Kyle Connor, speaking of guys playing for contracts, 97 points last year. Does he become another American to be able to finally crack the 100-point mark? That's an interesting conversation. Mark Scheifele he's winding down his prime years at age 32, 33 now. So that's another thing. I mean, he signed long term, but his production is paramount to this team. Nino Niederreiter, can he bounce? Can he take a step forward? I mean, I know he's 33, but we always talked about this guy having more room to grow, and he did not have the greatest season last year. Can he get back to like a 45-point guy? Like if he could get back to a 45, maybe 50-point guy, that would go a long way for the Jets. So I don't think they take a huge step back, but definitely a step back. But again, you got the best goaltender in the world in the net. You're going to be all right. I mean, he say what you want about him in the playoffs, but regular season, he's the only active goaltender with 3 Vezina Trophy wins and a Hart Trophy win. So you can bash him all you want, but no other goalie in the NHL has that.
Yeah, and I think when you go with Jonathan Taves in that locker room, regardless of what he's going to give you on the ice, he's going to be able to calm things down when they're at their worst and at their best. When things are rolling good, he'll keep them focused. Jonathan Taves, all criticism of one incident that he's ever had is aside, he's been considered one of the greatest leaders of this generation and one of the greatest captains. So that'll really help. He's an excellent defensive player. I think he still has that. Is he going to give you 15 goals? We debated about that on last week's show. So you got that with the Jets. You look at their division's murderer's row. I mean, you look at that. I could cite 4 teams with a chance to win the Stanley Cup and a good chance in that division alone. And you have another one who's got one of the premier players of the NHL trying to play for a new deal, who's also going to be in that division. So there's another one to throw in there. You got a rising team that everybody is talking about, but I don't know if we have them under our under the radar teams. We're going to check that in a little bit. But you look at the Jets. I think if they took a step back, it would be like one of those step back to move forward type of things, where maybe they don't try to win the President's Trophy. Maybe they're okay finishing second. Maybe it's sort of like the Florida Panthers were. They just get their ducks in a row right before the playoffs at the end of last year, and they go on and go win the Stanley Cup. Because after all, Panthers had the divisional pelt on already hanging up for them. They don't care about the division. They care about that one with Lord Stanley on the banner. So let's keep on talking about one of the Florida Panthers. Will the Tkachuk brothers be back and healthy for Team USA in the Olympics? Filk, you're the one that started this, so why not?
I don't think there's any way that these guys miss the Olympics unless Brady gets hurt. Brady's the healthier one. Like, I mean, unless he gets hurt right beforehand, I don't see any way that these guys miss. I think Matt will be back by then. That might tie into their chances at division. You were just talking about that before. But I do think that both of these guys are going to be back and they're going to be in there. Whether they're healthy, that's a different story. but I think they're back and they're playing for Team USA.
Anthony, we
Yeah,
saw
I mean,
this in the Four Nations.
You can't predict. I mean, a player can get hurt at any time, but yeah, I mean, as far as Tkachuk has said that he's going to be out until December, so Olympics are in February. So yeah, I would assume unless something goes wrong in his rehab, he'll be back. And obviously, Brady Tkachuk's healthy right now, so unless something happens to him, they'll both be there.
You got to wonder how the Olympic break is going to affect the NHL teams, because after all, there's going to be chances are 2 different trade deadlines, one unofficial, sort of like last year with the Four Nations break, and then one official, which is the actual trade deadline in March. But you got to wonder how that's going to affect teams. Answering this question, though, they're going to target the Olympics. This is the first time NHL players have competed in the Olympics since 2014, and they're going to be raring to go. And especially the way the Four Nations ended, they're going to want to be playing and avenge that Connor McDavid overtime winner. Speaking of Connor McDavid, I heard this rumor he's got a contract that's going to be coming up soon. And will Connor McDavid's contract talks sink the Oilers Stanley Cup hopes? Mr. LaRocco, we'll start with you.
No, I don't think so. I mean, David's a professional. His focus is on winning the Stanley Cup with the Oilers. We know he's the best player, most talented player in the world. That's not going to change. He's going to go out there every night and do his thing. So, I mean, no, I don't think it's going to sink their cup hopes at all. I don't think it's going to be, irrelevant in terms of how they perform on the ice and what the Oilers do. I mean, you want to talk about the Oilers team itself and how it's constructed, I mean, sure, but I don't think McDavid's contract is going to have anything to do with their ability to get back to the Stanley Cup final.
Phil, do you think McDavid's contract is going to be a distraction?
That's what I was just about to ask. This question is basically asking whether or not I think this is going to be a distraction. No, I don't think so. Just like Anthony said, he's a professional. He's going to go out there, and I actually think he's going to have a tremendous season. Like, I think he's going to have a season that's going to rival his 2023 season. That's how good I think he's going to be this year.
I wonder, guys, and I wonder on this because when it starts getting closer and closer and the pressure gets turned up, I wonder how much is going to be on McDavid and how is he going to deal with it. I think Connor McDavid is going to deal with it just fine. I think he'll be a non-productive McDavid was last year. That was still 100 points. Here's a bit of an oddity. I think the pressure might get to the team. And specifically, let's say Stuart Skinner in net. Every goal, every soft goal I let in could be my job because McDavid might want to leave. There could be, I think every team would want to see McDavid too. So not just, the pressure might ratchet up on his teammates on this one. Now, as much as that's a bit of a hot take, it could be, but you don't want to be the reason why Connor McDavid might want to go. You want to see this team succeed. And, I still pose the argument, if they win a Stanley Cup, is it more or less likely that he leaves? And that's something that could go either way, in my opinion, because his mission is complete. He doesn't have to do anything else. Or does he want to do this in Edmonton for the rest of his career and be Mr. Oiler, and then everybody forgets about somebody that wore 99?
Relax. Nobody's forgetting about that.
I'm just saying.
Nobody's forgetting about that guy. Relax, Tonto.
All right. But I mean, you could argue where his place in Oilers history would be. Because without a Stanley Cup,
thanks.
But without a Stanley Cup, he's not. You can't put him ahead of Mark Messier, can you? Just saying.
Let's see. 5 scoring titles in 10 years. 3 MVPs, 4 Pearsons, a Rocket Richard, a 150-point season. I love Messier. Everybody knows I love Mark Messier. But Connor McDavid, in 10 years, has a better hardware case than Messier has in terms of individual accolades.
MVP without Gretzky probably would have won maybe one.
Messier has 2 of them. He won
argued.
one in Edmonton.
That's
But
right.
David's got 3 of those already.
I know. I'm just saying, without the ring, which, by the way, hi, babe. Without the ring, that's going to kind of seem like a glaring thing, even though you guys know my opinion on championships is it's a team thing, so it's not exactly something.
I can't believe you, Mariota. You're getting called Mariota. No,
I'm getting Mariota from you.
No, Mariota got into a game and actually played all right. So now
he
you're
did.
getting Will Levis. You're getting Will Levis for that. You're absolutely getting Will Levis.
Well, guys, let's go to the last one, and it's a team that beat the Edmonton Oilers for the 2nd straight season. Will the Florida Panthers three-peat, Mr. Filkowski? Now, you don't have to give away your Stanley Cup pick. You just talk about the chances.
What would be, you don't have to give away your Stanley Cup pick, but will the Florida Panthers three-peat? What are we doing right now?
No, that threw the question out. It's also 2 different segments. So
we call him Joe Flacco.
Different segments, but get the damn hoop. Please get the hoop. Matt, where are you? Get the hoop in the Blake Griffin jersey, please. Lob City. This is what we're doing here. Layup, yes. Alley-oop. Yeah, the Panthers are going to three-peat. Matthew Tkachuk's going to be back in what Anthony said, December.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he's going to be rested. He's going to play less games than everyone else. It's going to be like Nikita Kucherov in 2021 or Steven Stamkos in 2020. The guy comes back. Oh, triumphant return. Not like we didn't know this was coming. They make another move at the deadline because they somehow find a way to gather cap space to do so. Because what can Bill Zito not do? What can't he do? So, yeah, Bill Zito's going to find a way to add yet another piece. Mackie Samoskevich is going to develop into a top 6 forward who will probably be playing 3rd line for them in the playoffs because they have so many weapons up and down their lineup. Sam Bennett will probably score another 13 to 16 goals in the playoffs, and they'll win again. Next, anyone? Here's your spoiler. Paul Heyman for everybody. Spoiler alert, the Florida Panthers win again. Have a nice day. Shao Kahn wins. Mortal Kombat is dead.
Flawless victory.
Yeah.
Anthony, will the Florida Panthers three-peat in your opinion?
I mean, this kind of gives away my answer here when I come to our final predictions, but
not exactly.
Yes.
I mean, I think they're going to go to the Stanley Cup Final. I don't think there's anybody in the East that can take them down. Will they three-peat? They might, certainly might, but you got to remember how hard it is to win 3 in a row. I mean, 3 in a row hasn't been done since the Oilers, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the late 80s. So
actually, that wasn't even 3 in a row.
Oh yeah, because the
Islanders
they won 2. Yeah, you're right. So the Islanders then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, the closest team was the Panthers. They won. Sorry, not the Panthers. The Lightning. They won back-to-back, and then they made it to the finals that 3rd year, and they lost to Colorado. So it's hard to it's really hard to get there 3 times in a row. It's even harder to actually win that 3rd time. So they very well might, but I'm gonna say they get there again, but like the Lightning, they fail to win the 3rd in a row.
I think they have a very good chance because I look at the East and they're just king of the mountain. You remember playing that game when you were kids where you stand up on a hill, everybody keeps running up and you're just shoving everybody down. The Florida Panthers they're better than everyone. And even if they don't win the division, which I don't think they will, I'll get to that later. I think the Florida Panthers are going to just go into the playoffs and steamroll everybody. And you could argue the only team that they didn't do that to are the Toronto Maple Leafs, who went up 2-0 in the series, 2-0 in game 3. They needed overtime to get back into that series, which they get the goal. And there it is. So, and the Florida Panthers right there.
One's to the sky.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
No.
I mean, it's a great thing when you've already got 2 in the bag in a Stanley Cup Finals appearance on top of that. if they make it to the Stanley Cup Finals 4 years in a row, that'll be the first year. That'll be the first team again since the Islanders to go 4 years in a row to the Stanley Cup Finals.
I mean, they'd also be the first. If they win, they'd be the first team to win 3 in a row since the Islanders as well.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And we're gonna do our pick'em segment a little bit early today, guys. So these are our season pick'ems. Oh wait, sorry.
I've got a gut feeling.
You want me to do 2 things?
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
Shoot!
Yeah, by the way, when you're going to actually use the graphics, use the right graphics. That's the best advice I could give anybody that's using Stream.
Where's the Mark messed up graphic?
Yeah, I'll save that one for later. We'll get that one in there. But here are our Big Apple Hockey pick'ems for the 25-26 season. And let's start with this. Guys, Mr. LaRocco, who is an overrated team that you could think of in the NHL right now?
Oh, even though they're my Metropolitan Division winner, I'm going to go with the Hurricanes. I think they're good. Don't get me wrong, they're a good team. Like I said, they're going to win the Metro, but the Metro is looking like it's going to be the weakest it has been in a long time this year. So it's not really saying a whole lot. And just when I look at their group, I mean, I like Nikolai Ehlers as a player. He's good. He's fast. You know, he's a guy that can score about 60 points. I like him. But even though they added him to the lineup, I'm not in love with their forward group overall. I think Jackson Blake actually had a good rookie year. I think he's a good player, but you know, outside of kind of their big guys and him, I'm not really enamored with them. I do recognize they have, for my money, the best shutdown defenseman in the league on their team, Jacob Slavin. But you know, their goaltending, again, Tkachuk and Freddie Anderson for another year. I mean, they're okay goalies, but I'm not sure if either of them are going to get the job done when it counts, especially when they come up against the Florida Panthers. And, you know, there's been reports that they're in the mix for Carter Hart, but even if they sign Carter Hart, is he really their knight in shining armor that's going to change things? I mean, guy hasn't played in the NHL for almost 2 years, and even when he has, he's been very erratic up and down. Certainly didn't meet the expectations of him when he first came into the league. So even if they add him, I'm not really sure that's going to change much. So really good regular season team, like I said, gonna win the Metro. But when you stack them up against some of the other like real contenders in the league in terms of, you know, the Oilers, the Stars, the Panthers, the Avalanche, the Jets, I mean, I like all those teams better than them, to be honest with you. So, again, really good team, but again, the Metropolitan Division is going to be real weak. So, how much does that really say?
I really wish I still had the thing that I had on there where there would be fire around that, because Anthony, you were spitting fire already in the first one of our pick'ems.
Now we just need the Dave Chappelle Thailand video. Thailand, because I spit on fire.
Yeah. Phil, who do you have as your overrated team?
I have the Toronto Maple Leafs, but I just wanted to make a little reference before I even talk about the going up the Metro. We need that meme of the 3-headed dragon with the third head being like the derpy one, and with that the derpy one being the Metro division. Yeah, because that's literally the Metro this year. But Toronto, I wonder how. Like, I just can't see Mitch Marner's departure being basically filled in by both Matthew Knies and Matthias Michelli. I think that it's still a good team. I just think that people are talking about them winning the division, and yeah, they might be a little deeper, but how are you replicating not only 102 points, but Selke caliber defense from a winner like that? And Matthew Knies, like if he scores like 35 goals and 70 points, I think you'd be very happy with that. But is that really, like, is your top six really that much better for losing Mitch Marner with John Tavares being a year older? And now the two linchpins of your offense are now only Matthews and Nylander. And I love Nylander. I think Nylander's great. I think Nylander anywhere else would be the focal point of any team's offense, and he'd probably be a 100-plus point player. But and just something about that offense just doesn't seem right to me. And I know they added some bottom six help. Yeah, they might be a little deeper of a team on paper, but I don't trust their goaltending.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't figured that out for I don't even know how many years. It seems like the last time Toronto had a great goaltender was Curtis Joseph, like in the late 90s, early 2000s. I don't think they've had a great goaltender since. I mean, their defense, I mean, I love the Brandon Carlo edition last year, but Morgan Riley, like he's 31 and he seems like his best days are well behind him. Chris Tanev's 35 and they signed him to a long-term deal. And you don't know how many games he's going to play. I mean, Ekman Larson, good defenseman, but $3.5 million is a bit much for him. And Jake McCabe, I like Jake McCabe. I think he might be, him and Carlo might be my two favorites on that blue line. I think those are just two reliable guys that you know what you're getting every night from them. But you bring in Dakota Joshua, which I think they overpaid for. Nick Waugh, which I really do like that signing. Callie Yarncroke has fallen off quite a bit. And then Scott Lawton, not a bad fourth liner, but you're really going to depend on Max Domi and Matthias Michelli to kind of replace and Matthew Nice to replace what Mitch Marner gave you. And I don't think their top six is better for that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm going to give you my prediction on the Toronto Maple Leafs later, but I went with the New Jersey Devils. I wonder, we're back at this again, guys. I wonder on their goaltending. This is it's the every other year Jacob Markstrom. Is he going to be good this year? Not so good this year. We're going to see about that one. Are they going to be healthy? That's a big question. And for all their success last year, which was really in the the first half of the season, I should say, and they did pretty well without Jack Hughes, but not so well as a team. They don't want power play after the Four Nations, but they were only 6 points ahead of the New York Rangers, and they were outscored by 14 goals by them. The Devils have a chance of falling all the way back. I love the talent on the team. I'm not sold on Sheldon Keefe. I'm not against him, but is he a good enough coach to handle this team? If they're healthy, I think they're a playoff team. Hopefully their net, everything is still stable in there. I just don't know if the talent as a collective is going to be good enough. So we'll see about that soon enough. Let's go away from teams that might be a little bit overrated to teams that are underrated. Who is your under the radar team, Mr. LaRocco?
So I'm going with the team that might surprise some, but I personally think that they're not going to be as dire as people think. But I went with the San Jose Sharks. We all know about Macklin Celebrini, star player. Will Smith last year, 45 points in his first year. He's going to keep improving. Willie Meckland broke out 58 points in only 77 games. So there's a really good trio of players right there. Not to mention they added Michael Misa, likely going to make the team this year. And I like what Mike Greer did because he didn't just take those young guys and surround them with just equally kind of young players, but just kind of fillers. He went out and he got solid NHL veterans. Phil Kurashev is a good player. Carl Grundstrom is not a bad hockey player. Adam Gaudette scored 20 goals for the Ottawa Senators. He's a good player. Jeff Skinner, he's getting a little older, and obviously he's not the same Jeff Skinner he was. But at the end of the day, he's still a talented hockey player. Not to mention you have Tyler Toffoli, who they added last year, Wenberg. So they got a good group of veterans to help those young players. And then on the defensive side, Dmitry Orlov, great. I mean, say we want about him, but again, solid veteran, great skater. Same thing with Nick Leddy, veteran, maybe not the same player he was, but great skater. John Klingberg they added. to go along with Mario Ferraro, who they already have, is a solid guy. And then you have one of the best young goaltenders in the league in Yaroslav Askarov as the guy. So I don't think this team is going to be as bad as people think. Granted, they're not making playoffs, but I just think they're going to surprise some people. I don't think they're going to be, last in the West. I don't think they're going to be pitiful. I think they got a lot of young talent, and you're going to see them make strides this year.
All right. That's actually a good one because I think everybody's just writing off the Sharks going, they're terrible. They're going to be terrible again. Bilk, are you thinking of a different team?
Yeah, I've kind of been talking about these guys for a few weeks now with a few of their players. I'm going Detroit. I think with I love what I saw from Simon Edmondson last year. I think he finally took a big step, and he's going to be playing with Moritz Seider on a full-time basis this year. And you want to talk about like Rempe and Edstrom being like the Twin Towers. Yeah, I know those two guys are taller, but imagine having to face a 6'5" and a 6'6" defenseman that can skate like guys half their size. Like it's a pretty daunting task. So I think Seider's going to have a big year. I think Edmondson's going to have a big year. I would not be shocked if Lucas Raymond scores 100 points. I think he'll score 90 plus, but I would not be shocked if he scores 100 points. I think Marco Kasper is going to be one of the breakout players of the year. And they finally figured out what their Achilles heel has been all along, and it's goaltending. And they went and they got John Gibson, who's probably the best goaltender they've had since, I would say, Chris Osgood, like when his final run in Detroit. So I think that team, they've got some other guys that I think can come up this year and really, really make some noise for them. I mean, you got Axel Sandin Pellikka, who I think is probably at some point going to debut with this team. He's in the second of a 4-year ELC because of a slide year last year. So I do think that Sandin Pellikka is going to make it. A lot of people are not talking about him for the Calder, but I think that's someone that could come up, and I would not be surprised if he's running power play too. I really wouldn't. Listen, I think Seider is going to run power play 1, and rightfully so. But you're going to see a lot from Sandin Pellikka this year, and they've got some guys in their system that are ready to come up and make an impact, and some others that are, like I said, are ready to break out. So Detroit, I like what they look like this year.
I agree. And surprised not one of us wanted to throw on the Anaheim Ducks or something like that on there. But I'm going with the Detroit Red Wings too. I watched their game last night. Kosa looked like he's ready to at least step into a backup role. They do have Cam Talbot who could play some games, but you throw John Gibson in there. That's sort of been the problem in Detroit, as you said just a second ago, Phil. And if they could keep some pucks out of the net, they're going to win more games. A full year of Todd McClellan running the team. And maybe this team finally makes the playoffs in the Yzer plan era. And if that's the case, then people that were kind of saying maybe he's on the hot seat, maybe that'll take him off the hot seat. And I do have to say, by the way, I watched that game last night, or most of it. The Blackhawks Soderblom, he actually looked pretty good in that game. He might end up really kind of developing into the goaltender that they want him to be. Well, it's him or Spencer Knight. You got two quality young netminders in there. But going back with the Red Wings, if Kasper ends up greatly improving, as you've been talking about, this is the team that I would look out for. And then a lot of people kind of dismissed in the East because Montreal went by him, Ottawa went by him, and not Buffalo. Buffalo's still kind of buffaloing. So yeah, not going after Talbot. Well, again, it's the problem is the way Ranger fans talk about Talbot. You thought the guy won a Vezina every year. Anyway, all right. I say that this is a little bit of fun. I'm sorry to bring this up, but we have to ask this. This is one of our pick'ems. Who's the first coach fired? Mr. Filkowski.
I went with Andrew Burnett. I know another popular answer is going to be I think one of us has the other popular answer, but I'm going to go Andrew Burnett. I just think that I could see things starting off poorly in Nashville. And if they start off like as bad as they started last year, you're going to look at that team and Andrew Burnett's going to get fired at that point. I mean, they have a bunch of guys that are in their final years of their contracts. Michael Bunting, Eric Hall, and Cole Smith all come off the books. And then you have Fedor Svechkov, Zach LaRue, that are all restricted free agents after this year. Luke Evangelista is a restricted free agent. They need to get him signed because he needs to be playing. I don't know what they're doing with him, but he needs to be playing. Their defense is not as good as it was with Ryan McDonough, I'll tell you that. I mean, Roman Josi, Brady Shea, Nick Hague. Nick Hague is paid entirely too much money for what he is. Nick Perbix is a nice pickup from Tampa, but Justin Barron, they really don't have anybody that sticks out to you. I mean, really, their saving grace is that UC Saros, no matter how bad the defense is in front of them, is still one of the better goaltenders in the league. But their forward depth, now it's Philip Forsberg. I mean, Stamkos, is he going to bounce back? Is Marchessault going to bounce back? Ryan O'Reilly's 34 as well. And then the talent level on offense after that is just nosedive. Nosedive. So, you would have to hope that this year is the last year of Matt Duchene's dead cap being $6.555 million. So once that comes off, that's about $5 million in cap space that they get to play with and go use someone else. But then they also have Colton Sissons and Matthias Ekholm, $1.6 million retained dead cap on that. So they open up probably about $7 million in cap space after this year, so they can go after somebody that can help them out up front or on defense. But yeah, I think this team's going to be bad again.
Anthony, who do you got as first coach fired?
It's another team in the Central Division, and it's Andre Tourny for the Utah Mammoth. I think this is a team that we've been talking about the last year or so as a team that's going to take a next step. They've previously been some of our picks for under the radar team. I think they got a great group now. They added Peterka, Schmaltz, Dylan Gunther, Clayton Keller, Logan Cooley, all these guys, Sergachev on defense leading the group. They had brought in another solid veteran player in Brandon Tanev. So I think for them, the time is now for them stuff to kind of be labeled as up and coming and make a real push here at the playoffs. They hung around last year for a little bit. So I think this year at the stage in their development, if, they're struggling or get out of the gate poorly, I think that he's going to be let go. Because I think the expectation now is enough of, the consolation prize for being competitive and for getting close. I think this team wants to get back into the playoffs. So if it's looking like they're stuck in the status quo or really struggling, I think he's a guy that might go.
I struggled on this question because I looked at every single coach that was the real candidates I thought that could get fired. Most of the teams either just replaced their coach last year or they replaced their coach this year.
Glenn Gulletson. Kidding.
So what?
No, I said Glenn Gulletson. Kidding.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know Glenn Gulletson. There's another one. So I kind of just kept on going down the list. Obviously, I mean, I keep saying it's not one of the obvious ones that I would say. I went on about Patrick Waugh yesterday. Not him. He's not going anywhere during the season. And it kind of led me back to it's going to be Andrew Burnett. If every other team is going to be good in the Central, this team is going to be bad again. And not everybody can be good. This division's murderer's row. I keep saying it. You got the St. Louis Blues, who look like they're ready to pop. I think the Minnesota Wild are going to come back to earth a little bit. So there could be a chance that John Hines might go. But looking at the rest of like the league, it's either going to be Andre Torgy or Tournier, or do I even need to learn how to? Do I even need to learn how to pronounce it?
Tournier.
Tournier.
Yeah.
I can't see Chris Knobloch being fired. He just went to 2 straight conference finals.
I don't know. You know what? If they start off like crap,
which they do.
I mean, if they're looking really bad in like November going into December, could like maybe because this is honestly McDavid's last year. Like in this deal, like they don't know what's going to happen, and I don't think they want to take any chances.
If that's the case, they better get McDavid's thoughts on that before you even make that move. Because what if you fire him and that's the coach that he likes? So,
I mean, that's a good point. That is his buddy, his old junior coach from Erie. So
exactly. And after all, that was correct me if I'm wrong, guys. And Anthony, you would know best. But I think that was one of the things that infuriated John Tavares was when they fired Doug Weight, right?
No, I don't think he was that upset about it.
I heard that was a little bit of a problem a while back.
Johnny Lazarus joining the chat. Yeah, if Knobloch gets fired, I think Laz is right on this. I think Laz is 110% right on that.
Thank you very much, Johnny.
But then again, you got to think about it this way. I'd imagine they would have some sort of discussion with him about it, considering that he was probably the recommended pick. But if they start off that bad, can the Oilers afford to play with fire and keep him?
That is where you have to. This is the rare time where you have to consult the player. I usually would say, think about the organization first because players come and go. This is the one time you consult the player because if he's going to sign an 8-year deal and it's contingent on one of his decisions, you damn well better make sure you get him in on that. Because if you end up doing it and he doesn't like it, that's gonna really not be a good thing. All right. Let's go with the biggest name that's going to be moved within this season. This is a new one that we threw in there because, after all, Mikko Rantanen was moved last year twice. So
yeah, that's something you're never going to see again.
I doubt we're ever going to see that again.
Maybe.
But Anthony, you can start this one off again. Who do you see as the big name getting moved?
So I have Yevgeny Malkin. Just came out about a day or two ago that Mark, you forgot the I in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay. I did it a little too fast.
It just came out the other day or so that Malkin actually didn't say that this is necessarily going to be his last year in Pittsburgh, and that he would be open to moving to go to a contender, kind of in the mold that Brad Marchand did. So I think we can all agree Pittsburgh's not going to be good. So if they're bad come the trade deadline time, I think they're gonna approach Evgeny Malkin and say, hey, look, do you want to move and try to get on a winning team before your career is all said and done? And based on his comments, it seems like if he feels like it's the right fit, he would do so. So I think there's a decent shot that Gino could be playing elsewhere. Probably won't happen with Crosby. I know there's a lot of smoke about that. He seems content to want to be a Penguin, and I know.
I don't think you watched the last interview with him. Then
I think Malkin. Yes, I think Malkin might very well be dealt.
All right, Phil, do you have a player you're thinking of?
I'm gonna go bold and say Sidney Crosby.
Oh wow!
I just earlier on. The rhetoric that was coming out of him was, I don't want to go. I have no desire to leave. And now things have changed. Like now he seems more open to moving. And I honestly think Colorado would go and make the move and go get him. I know that everybody's talking about Montreal, but they're not a Sidney Crosby away. And for Montreal, it would be dumb to go and give up a bunch of assets because that's still going to be a massive trade. You're still going to give up an arm and a leg to get him. But it would be a massive mistake for them to go and do that because they have other areas on their team that they need to fix before they do anything and going and getting a guy like Crosby. Colorado is that Sidney Crosby away. Now, whether or not they have the assets to do it is a different story. But I could see Sidney Crosby waving to go to Colorado. And maybe he turns around and tells Pittsburgh that he'll only waive for Colorado. And then it reduces the return because they're trying to deal with one team and one team only.
Oof. You guys just spit some fire out there. And mine is going to be much less enthused or just energized as far as those two go. I'm going Marty Necas. I think he might actually potentially be this year's Mikko Rantanen. I think Colorado, if they can't get him signed quickly, they might dump him as fast as possible, and then he might go to another team and then say I'm going to free agency, and then they might dump him. He's one guy I can't get a pulse on. I mean, how good is he really? What is his demands? It's somebody that if you got so many questions on him, then of course you're going to start moving him. And that's just how I see him. He's almost one of those guys I look at and don't think he's going to be happy anywhere he goes. He's a good player though. So let's see if he finds a home finally within this year. Let's go to the next one. And we'll start you off, Anthony, once again. Who will win the Calder Trophy?
I have to go with Ivan Demidov. He's the favorite on pretty much all the sports betting sites to win the Calder Trophy. He got a taste of the NHL action last year. Didn't look out of place. Needs to work on his all-around game. And that could be true. That could be said of a lot of young players, but he's got boatloads of skill. The Canadians are becoming an exciting team with really good players aside from Demidov. So I think he's going to be put in a situation where he's going to play with talented players and he's going to get the minutes needed to really make a difference. So for me, he's the far away leader. As much as I wanted to say Schaefer, Shabanov, it just can't. I think it's Demidov's trophy to lose.
All right, Filk, what do you think? Demidov's trophy to lose?
Yeah, and literally the last sentence was what Anthony just said what I was going to say. And it's not like I don't care about the betting sites and the odds and stuff like that. I really don't factor any of that into my analysis on it, but you got a guy that's going to be playing top 6 minutes. He may even be on their top line. Like if you have him with a guy like Nick Suzuki, like the magic that those two could create could be insane. And he's going to be on their power play. He doesn't look out of place as it is. The skill level is through the roof. I mean, this guy's been talked about as the top prospect out there in all of hockey for like a year and change now. I mean, so I think it's his really to lose. If you want a couple of guys that can really challenge him for it and make this interesting, I think Isaac Howard is going to be playing with one of Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl most of the time. And I think he might even make his way onto that power play. So I think Isaac Howard could be someone. I would also look at Zeev Buoyant in Minnesota. I think if he gets top 4 minutes, they're going to look at him in a different light because he may play close to 20 minutes per game. And he looked really good for them in the playoffs, if you ask me. So talk about great skating defensemen. You talked about Schaefer, talked about Hudson. We've talked about McCarr and Hughes and everything. Zeev Buoyant's a hell of a skater. And not only that, but his on-ice vision is top tier. He's really good with and without the puck. Like his eyes are all over the place. Just a really, really smart, heady defenseman with a lot of talent, great skating, knows how to get a shot on net too. So Zeev Buium would be a dark horse for me.
Phil, one of the guys you mentioned or didn't mention, we've talked about him in the last couple of weeks. Out of that was Zane Parekh, who also looks like he's going to be really good for the Calgary Flames. Yeah. This is going to be a pretty good rookie class, guys. And it basically is Demidov's to lose. And if you're going to bet against Demidov, you're probably an idiot. I am an idiot. I'm going with Jimmy Snuggerud. I think Jimmy Snuggerud came up last year and just looked the part, played well in the playoffs, and I loved the way he played for Team USA in the World Juniors and leading up to this and in college. I just think this kid could be a Calder Trophy guy, and as my text messages went off right there.
There was somebody in the chat last week that was agreeing with me on him being a real good rookie too. Mr. Johnny Lazarus.
Yes. So it's one of those things. I think you're gonna see one of those guys like a Lane Hudson emerge out of this class where you're going, this guy could be good, but I don't know. And especially when you had Celebrini and Michkov last year, and then Hudson's the one that ends up winning it. This case, and by the way, and no, Boyko will not be winning any Rookie of the Year trophies.
I'm going to do the Miz right now to you. Really?
Well, here's one question I forgot to ask before we started doing awards, guys, so I'm going to go back to it. Will a big-time free agent sign during the season? And if your answer is yes, who? Phil, start with you.
I hate to say it, but McDavid. I could see it.
Okay.
I could see it. I really could. At the end of the day, I do think that he's gonna re-sign. I think maybe Kaprizov and Eichel hit the market, but I think McDavid probably re-signs. I think he wants to stay in Edmonton. I don't think he really wants to leave there, but I'm going to go McDavid. I see a lot of people saying Eichel. A lot of people saying Eichel right now. Everybody in the chat almost. But I'm going to go with McDavid.
Anthony, do you think a major free agent will re-sign, and if who?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's gonna be Kyle Connor. Yeah, I hear that negotiations between them and the Jets have been good. He wants to stay there, so he's a guy that I could see getting done during the year.
All right, and I didn't get your graphic up. Let me get that one up right there because I'm with the chat. I think it's gonna be Jack Eichel. I think Vegas makes sure he does not go anywhere. I think they give him a reasonable contract with a raise, and I think he loves it there. So why not? And he's already been to Buffalo, and you've seen what happened there. I mean, no offense to Buffalo, but until I just forgot his name for a minute because I've just always Kevin Adams. Till Kevin Adams is gone, and to a lesser extent the Padulas. It's just not going to be as successful. Whatever the Pagulas. I have friends of mine that actually, sorry, Nick. Now that I think about that, I'm like, a friend of mine named Padula. But yeah, until that, no, absolutely not. I do think Eichel stays. I don't think he wants to go to another organization, and Vegas is committed to winning. So I think that's what's going to be the big thing. He's already been through a team that had to rebuild. He doesn't want to go somewhere else. All right. Phil, right back to you. Who will win the Vezina Trophy?
Going for the three-peat, Connor Hellebuyck. I just think he's the best goaltender in the world. I mean, again, you can say whatever you want about the playoffs. I don't care. I really don't. You have to get there to do it. And Connor Hellebuyck at home in the playoffs last year was much better than he's been in years past. Probably his best since 2018 when they went to the the Western Finals and lost to Vegas. So I think he's the best goaltender in the world. I think that especially in the regular season, there's no one better than him. There's no one. And I really don't think losing Ehlers is going to hurt them defensively all that much because he's not a great defensive player. I know that other people are going to say things like this, and I don't think Igor Shesterkin winning it is necessarily a hot take. I think he's got his work cut out for him. It's possible, but I think he's got his work cut out for him.
He's already won one. That's not a hot take.
Yeah, it's not really a hot take, but I actually love both of these.
That's a hot take.
So Stahl is probably a little more of a hot take. Wolf, I can see as kind of a dark horse just because I think he's tremendous. I don't think he gets enough love for as good as he was in Calgary. If he could stay on this course, man, Dustin Wolf's going to be tremendous for a long time. So it's just I see people saying Ottinger, and I understand that one too. I do think that it could be a first timer, and NHL tends to kind of stay away from repeat winners unless they're so much better than the rest of the field that they just can't. It's undeniable. So for me, I would say that I would say it's Hellebuck though, because I just think his numbers are just going to be so damn good that they're not going to be able to look past him.
Anthony, do you have Hellebuck or maybe even somebody else repeating?
Yes, I do. I have Andrei Vasilevsky winning the Vezina Trophy. I had a feeling that both you guys were going to say Hellebuck, and I wanted to try to be a little different here, but Vasilevsky, after a poor 23-24 season where I think his save percentage was only like 900, which isn't good. He bounced back in a big way last year. He had a 921 save percentage. I think that he's going to be like, hey guys, I'm still here. I used to be widely regarded as the best goalie in the world. And I think he's going to try to prove that. When you're talking win one game 7 situation, the guy's a brick wall. I still would always go with him. But I still think he's very much a really good goaltender, and he showed that he's still in discussion as one of the best with his bounce back year last year. So, I'm going to go Vasilevsky. Could surely be Hellebuck for sure, as much as a bunch of other guys too. But my choice is Vasilevsky.
I'm holding up the number 2 because Vasilevsky was the runner-up last year's Vezina voting. Just remember.
Okay. Oh, that's why. All right. Well, because I'm going to go with the guy that was number 1 in last year's Vezina voting. Show me the guy that's going to beat him. I mean, right now he is the undisputed heavyweight champ. He's Mr. Sandman in the old Punch-Out, Super Macho Man in the new one. But this is Connor Hellebuck. This is his league. We're all just watching him play in it. I don't think. And the funny thing is, he's only making $8.5 million for a back-to-back Vezina Trophy winner. If only like other teams would have paid their goaltender less than that. But it's one of those things with Hellebuck. I think he's going to be consistent. I think he's going to be driven to be. Now he got motivation behind it. He was just on the number 1 team in the league, and everybody's doubting him. Hellebuck is going to be so focused. This team and their defense, they purposely have it so they defend well in front of him. I think he's winning again. I think it's going to take a Herculean effort from somebody like a Vasilevsky who might be in trouble with Tampa kind of being a little bit quiet in the offseason and really not doing all that much. And because I think Tampa Bay is going to come down to what Kucherov and Vasilevsky could do for them. And the other part of it is, I mean, I maybe like a Dustin Wolf. Maybe he can sneak in there because his numbers are going to be so good on a team that really is going to need him to play well. Who knows? Maybe somebody else could jump out of there. I mean, after all, Darcy Kemper was a finalist last year because I'll put up the 3 for that one, Filk. And fortunately for me, there's no balloons or anything that went up behind me on that one.
You're forgetting another New York goaltender who was a Vezina finalist himself too.
Ilya Sorokin.
Yeah, I just for me, just like Shesterkin, I think there's just not enough in front of, not enough help.
Yeah, no, I don't think any of them are winning it, but
Yeah,
when you have the skill that they have, it's always possible.
Yeah, I just, and I mean, I see people talking about Jordan Swayman in the chat too. He's another one.
His team's really
good
bad.
enough to put him anymore.
A team isn't going to be, well, they're thin on talent. Is Marco Sturm going to be able to install a system that's going to help him? And he's going to get off to a better start. He doesn't have the contract issue this year, so that should be at least a positive for Swayman. But I mean, Sturm does come from the LA organization, so maybe that might help. They might have a system that works, and he gets that installed with the Bruins. I just don't see it with Jeremy Swayman.
When I look at Marco Sturm behind the bench, I watched him growing up as a player, and he was a part of the Joe Thornton trade that happened on my 20th birthday, which will be 20 years ago on November 30th. So I'm going to be 40, and this guy's going to be coaching. Like, I can you just put me in the fucking grave already.
Please. Phil, I was 16 when Pavel Bore was stoned by Mike Richter in the Stanley Cup Finals. So put me right next to you. Although, Maria would definitely be jealous about that. Babe, I'm going to be right next to you. Don't worry about that. I don't think that was as romantic as I thought that was.
You might want to reconsider.
I'm gonna. Your Honor, can we get that last sentence stricken for the record? All right. Anthony, let's go back to you. Since you're alive and well and not saying stupid things. Anthony, who will win the Norris Trophy?
Hey, Mark, are you familiar with the vegetable kale?
Yes.
All hail kale. Because I think, once again, Cale Makar brings home the Norris Trophy. I don't think he should have won it last year. I think he should have gone to Werenski, but you know how the league is. 92 points. He's by far the best skating defenseman in the league. His skill is off the charts. He can catch anybody with the way he skates and his speed. And I just think that, yes, there are a lot of other good defensemen in this league. Quinn Hughes, the aforementioned Zach Werenski, a lot of really good, young, talented defensemen coming up. But I just still feel that Cale Makar is going to try to take a stranglehold of this trophy. Just as long as he's putting up 90 points and playing the way he does, I think writers are going to have a hard time not giving it to him. So.
Yeah, I also think that maybe he might have the best season among defensemen this year and not win it, because when he's had the best season, I don't think he's won it. Yeah. And when he wasn't the best, he did deserve it, Norris. Don't get me wrong. That's just my take on that. Bilk, who do you have winning the Norris this year?
I just saw someone say Thomas Harley. I think that's an interesting pick. I don't think that's happening. If there's any Dallas defenseman that would win, it would be Heiskanen, if anything.
Yeah.
But Johnny saying Victor Hedman. He's got something left in the tank. I'm gonna get hammered for this, and I'm gonna get. No, I have this the other way around. I have Adam Fox.
Yep.
I just think that they're going to make one of probably the very best defensive pairing in the NHL this year. I think the analytics and the eye test are absolutely going to agree on these two. I think Adam Fox could be the only defenseman to win it on a non-playoff team twice, because his other win was, although in a shortened season, he didn't make the playoffs in 2021. So I'm going to go with Adam Fox. I think he's got a lot to prove. I think he's pissed off. I think he's motivated. I like Jake Sanderson. I don't know if he's there yet, though. I think he's going to win one in the future, though. I think he's tremendous. But Adam Fox, for me, I think there's a lot to prove. I think the writers like I said before with Hellebuck, unless they're undeniably good, and that much better than the field. I think the writers don't want to give out the award to the same player again and again and again.
Well, unless it's Cale Makar.
It is Cale Makar, though, and Cale Makar is the best offensive defenseman in the league by like a landslide. But I think if you want to talk about the best two-way defenseman in the league, it's Adam Fox. I mean, if you look at the analytics and you watch him on a nightly basis, I think that he's the best all-around guy in the entire league. I think Victor Hedman's still very, very close in that regard because he's still tremendous defensively. He's still a guy you don't want to play against. He's got the ability with his reach and his skating to cut down the gaps and force the issue with the blue line and really close in on the puck carriers. Quinn Hughes is a very good one too. I mean, after being injured last year and not winning it after he won it the year before, Quinn Hughes could come back and they could give it to Quinn Hughes again for the second time. But I think, with that said, I think it's Adam Fox. I like the idea that they finally added someone who actually knows how to play in his own zone with him. And Vladislav Gavrikov, Carson Soucy's. Oh, man. But I just think that you're looking at a guy like Gavrikov who is better at moving the puck and is better offensively than people have ever given credit for. And I think that's going to help out Adam Fox. I think he's going to have a tremendous season. I really do.
I love it when the commenters get ahead of me because I was sitting here absolutely warring with this one going, I don't think it's going to be the same guy winning it. That being said, I go with the guy that his team is going to rely on. That's Quinn Hughes. I think this is going to be another big season for him. It's going to really force the issue between Hughes and Vancouver and the what?
Connor Mackey Norris watch.
Oh, geez. No, there won't be. I mean, Hughes was step for step right there, 76 points in 68 games with Makar. And it's going to be like a similar situation with Zach Werenski. And I think he's going to be motivated and stay healthy as well because he's going to want to be healthy and be in the Olympics, especially since he missed the Four Nations last year. So I think it's going to be Hughes. The thing I have trouble with is Adam Fox was like the first Norris Trophy winner in a long time whose team did not make the playoffs. I can't remember the previous one before that. Then after that, you had Erik Karlsson, who had a 100-point season. So what? And was on the worst team in hockey. That's why I look at this and go, are they going to make the playoffs? Am I saying that the Canucks are going to make the playoffs? I don't know. I don't think so. But I do think Quinn Hughes is going to be that good and that important. You could argue he's the MVP of the Canucks easily, especially now that Elias Pettersson is – I don't even know what Elias Pettersson is now. He's got to figure that one out. So let's go last to the Hart Trophy. Mr. Filkowski, which one do you got?
I feel like I say this every year, but Connor McDavid. I know it sounds like a broken record, but I just think that with you talk about pressure before, and this guy has been facing pressure since he was probably about 10 years old. Like, you got to think of like what he went through in junior hockey, and he's had the spotlight on him for the better part of 20 years now. And I think that he's going to raise his game to another level this year. And I honestly, I would not be shocked if he maybe even cracked the 150-point mark again. I really wouldn't. Like, I just think that he's just very unhappy with the way the playoffs ended last year and the season that he had. And yes, he missed some time, but Connor McDavid knows that he had a down year. And he can look at those 100 points and say, oh, well, it's 100 points. But the great ones just don't take that for an answer. They don't accept it. And McDavid is one of the greatest we've ever seen. I just think he's going to bounce back and absolutely set the world afire. I mean, Alexa, play "Set the World Afire" by Megadeth right now, because that is his song for the year, and that's what he's going to do. You're going to hear the bomb drop, and then you're going to hear the riff come in, and it's Connor McDavid just absolutely yeeting all over everyone in the NHL right now. So,
all right. But I think another guy might need to kind of prove his worth as well, Mr. LaRocco.
Yeah, I had Mark Williams winning the Hart Trophy. No, it's a joke. Mark, you would never be up for the Hart Trophy. Sorry.
Oh, wow.
No. I can't be there.
Who brought this guy?
I'm just messing. You know what? Like Connor Hellebuck with the Vezina. I mean, I think it's a similar situation. McDavid's obviously the first name that comes to mind, but for me, I went with Kirill the Thrill, Kirill Kaprizov. I think that, and we always talk about, if you try to break down really MVP, the true, at least in my opinion of it, it's like if you take that player off the team, how good are they going to be? And I think Kirill Kaprizov, as the Minnesota Wild, as he goes, the Minnesota Wild go. I think he's extremely talented. I think this guy, when he's healthy, he's one of the very best players in the world. He's capable of scoring well over 100 points. He's playing for a contract year, similar to McDavid. He might have some extra motivation, and I just think he's that kind of talent, and maybe that this is the first year that he breaks through. With that said, I mean, again, it's probably going to be like a Nathan McKinnon or Connor McDavid, whatnot. But I would like to see someone new like Kirill Kaprizov come and win it.
I kind of agree with you. I'd like to see somebody new that's going to actually do it. I don't need somebody that's already won it before. And I think you're kind of on the right track with that. It's either, I would say Kaprizov or Kucherov are the two guys you look at and go, they lap their teammates. And that's how much production that they have. That being said, I know you alluded to it, but I think of one guy when you're not talking about him that only drives him even more, and that's Nate McKinnon. I think he's going to put up his second Hart-worthy season. And if him, Connor, and Kucherov get in that three-headed scoring race again, that's only going to fuel McKinnon and make him better and make him stronger. So I think McKinnon he's that guy you look at and you go, damn, he's good. Just every single time you look at him. And I run out of superlatives whenever I talk about Nate McKinnon. All right. Anthony, we'll start with you. What are your division winners? And just rattle them off and we'll get straight to the finals.
All right. So my Metro, as I said before, the Hurricanes, I think we're all in agreement there. The Atlantic, I have the Panthers. I think despite missing Tkachuk till December, so they're good enough to carry on without him. In the Pacific, I have the Golden Knights. I think, Eichel now has a new running mate, Mitch Marner. They're going to be even more dangerous. And in the Central, I'm sticking with the Jets. Connor Hellebuck's going to lead them. Kyle Connor, contract year. I think, again, he's going to be a guy that's looking to cash in big time with another career year. So, yeah, those are my picks.
All right. Philk, your division winners. Whoop. Maybe I should wait for you to say before I give them away.
You could just put them back up there but I went Hurricanes to win the Derp division. The Lightning to win the Atlantic, just because I think that Florida is going to be missing Matthew Tkachuk until December. I think that could help the Lightning out, especially if they get off to a hot start. The Stars, I think, are going to win the Central. I think they're too strong of a team, even if they lost guys like Dadonov and Granlund, because I think that Maverick Bourque is going to step in. It's going to have a big year for them. Leon Bichelle taking another step in his development is going to go a long way for them as well. And then the Golden Knights, I mean, the only thing I would worry about with Vegas is you don't have Alex Pietrangelo now. I mean, he's not playing this year, possibly retired. He's got 2 years left on his deal this and next. I just think that they're still the best team in that division on paper, but they definitely need somebody to come in and help out with their defense a little bit. They've got a solid group otherwise. It's just not the same without Pietrangelo, but that forward group is more than good enough to make up for it. You got to remember, guy who had probably one of the most under-the-radar seasons that nobody talked about last year, Pavel Dorofeyev.
Mm-hmm.
He had over 30 goals last year, and like nobody talks about him. He had 35 goals. And now you add Mitch Marner to that offense. Man, Marner, Eichel, Stone, if he can stay healthy, Hurdle, Carlson, Barbashev, Dorofeyev. I mean, that they have 7 guys that are legitimate top 6 forwards. Yeah, and that's what I was saying, Johnny. No Pietrangelo, but that forward group still makes up for that. They're going to possess the puck so much. It's going to be like watching the Detroit Red Wings in the 90s and the 2000s, where they just possess the puck all the time. Nick Hague is actually not there anymore. He is in Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? I like Vegas's group otherwise. Their defense is still decent, though. It's like you got Theodore, you got Hannafin, McNabb, Whitecloud, Lausanne, and then I think Hayden Korzak will probably win out that last spot. But listen, it's not about 1-0. It's not really about 1-0. I think
we're not keeping score like
we're
that.
not keeping score, everybody. But it's just that that defense is still decent. It's still a decent 6. But the forward group is so good that they're going to possess the. Johnny is really insistent on this 1-0. Get the gif with the guys in the blue spandex and they do the little dance and deal with it in the sunglasses. But hey, I just what I think. I just think that forward group is so damn good that they're going to be sitting there and they're going to have the puck most of the time. And you got 2 Selke caliber forwards like Eichel and Marner playing on the same line together. I could see each of those guys scoring 100+ points.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're basically all the same as Phil. You hit the nail on the head with the derp division because the Metro just is going to be that great. I differ because I say that the Avalanche is going to have a solid team, a full year of Brock Nelson as your second line center. That's going to be the best center that they've had since Nazem Kadri and them winning the Stanley Cup. So I think that's another one that I look at with the Avalanche. I think they're going to be able to take it over the Jets. I think there will be a bit of a dogfight to the end because that division is so outstanding with those good teams. The Knights, I just look at and say they're the best regular season team. Yeah, no Pietrangelo. You're not going to feel that as much in the regular season as you will in the playoffs. And they still have, 6 months to figure that one out. You could cover that up with some goal scoring, and they have lots of it, as you said before. And the last one that was kind of different for me was that I had the Maple Leafs because I think Craig Berube is going to have this team focused. They're going to make sure that they're going to say we're more than just Mitch Marner. They're going to play a better defensive game, and they're going to be a deeper team. My question for them is the playoffs as well. Then it's almost the reverse, or no, similar to, I guess, to what the Golden Knights did, because you're going to have a good regular season. Now you got to put it all together in the playoffs. And just for anybody watching, I just shortened it to say Knights because we had the Golden Knights on there 2 different times already. I didn't feel like writing it a third time. All right.
Lazy.
Who is going? Sorry, Phil. Who you guys say something?
No, I just called you lazy.
Well, yeah. Anyway, who will win the Stanley Cup and who will be in the Stanley Cup Finals? Phil, go to you first.
I have Florida over Dallas. I think Dallas finally breaks through, but nobody's taking the title from Florida. I'm sorry. You know what? I saw an interview with Alex Barkov, and they asked him about defending the Stanley Cup. He's like, we're not defending. Like, we're going out to win it. And, like, I love the mentality there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they're tremendous there. That buy-in is something else. Just hats off to Bill Zito and to Paul Maurice. Like, he got those guys to all buy in, and they just play with an absolute bulldog mentality. I don't think anybody's beating that team. I'm sorry. The only thing that'll beat them is themselves and injuries. I think if they're tired out from playing as much hockey as they've played over the last 3 years and now into the fourth year, then maybe that's what defeats them. But that team just knows how to play come playoff time.
Anthony, who do you got?
Well, I have the Panthers going to the finals for yet another year. However, I don't have them winning it. I have the Golden Knights beating them this time around. I just think, again, trying to also be different too. I know the Panthers are going to be a big choice for a lot of people. I also do think winning 3 in a row is insanely hard. There's a reason why it hasn't been done since the Islanders won 4 in a row. And the Golden Knights are also a really good team in their own right. I mean, Phil mentioned before Eichel and Marner on the same line. That's just going to be ridiculous. They're still pretty deep at forward. Their defense, no Pietrangelo, but I still think the group is good enough to win with come playoff time. And then the last thing is, I mean, you can say this for the Panthers too, because I've done it, but this is the Golden Knights and owner Bill Foley. I'm sure at the trade deadline, someone's going to be out there, one of the top players. They're going to be in the mix. Like, could you imagine like Yevgeny Malkin deciding he wants to move on, and the Golden Knights bring in a guy like Malkin, or just not necessarily him, but just a player that's available. They're going to be in the mix for.
Is Malkin that guy anymore? Like,
a really good team.
He's been on the decline for quite some time now.
Yeah, but his decline is still incredibly productive on the score sheet. So that's what the hard part is.
83 points in 82 games in 2023. 67 and 82 in 2024. 50 and 68 in 2025. Like, I know he's the big name, but I don't know. I don't look at him that way anymore.
But I think what also Anthony's alluding to is you get him off the Pittsburgh Penguins, he might be motivated again, and you might see that 2009 killer instinct style of Evgeny Malkin. I'm not saying production, everybody, because he is like old, but still he'd be playing on the third line versus third line matchups, and he'd be their point man on the power play where you don't have Alex Pietrangelo. So that's where I think you got a good point with that one.
No, it's not even that for me. I think David's got the real point right here. Like, if he goes to a team like Vegas, you could have him as like a third line center, just going out there and playing offense. And I mean, he's not a checker by any means. Defensively, he's a black hole. But I mean, you go out there and just tell him, hey, possess the puck and generate offense with the other two guys on your wing, and he's playing against lesser competition. Maybe you could feast on that.
Yeah. And you know what? I kind of went along Anthony's thinking, except I reversed it. I went back to the 2023 finals, and it's the Panthers over the Golden Knights this time to complete the three-peat and avenge their first loss that was in 5 games. I like the Golden Knights. Can they get past Edmonton in the second round? Because let's face it, it's probably going to be Edmonton versus LA. And I heard this rumor that Edmonton owns LA, owns LA. So
the Chiefs.
Yeah. So can the Golden Knights avenge last season? I do think the McDavid contract issue is gonna end up crushing this team in the end. They do not achieve their ultimate goal. The Golden Knights, I think they're gonna have something to prove. I think Mitch Marner has something to prove, and he's gonna go out there, maybe being free of the Maple Leafs and free of the narrative that's there. So let's see if Vegas can get all the way back again to the Stanley Cup Finals. They were my pick to win it last year. They didn't. And it's good. We're in for a good season, guys. And one thing I will say about the Florida Panthers, we're talking about the wear and tear on them. I don't think they care where they place as long as they're in the 8 teams in the Eastern Conference. They are not going to give a rat's butt. So if they end up, let's say, making the Stanley Cup Finals because they went through, let's say they get the second wild or the first wild card and they have to go through the Metro division, they will blow right through the Metro division like there is nothing. And you could make a case that maybe Ottawa or one of those Central Division teams could jump over them. They won't care as long as they're in the playoffs. And they're even going to have some games where people are going to go, hey, is this Florida? They're going to be able to repeat it. But as Jay's saying right here, yeah, they got to get off to a good start. Because even though Edmonton has proved that they can get hot later on in the year, just
that's going to cause a lot of distractions if they don't get off to a good start.
Yeah.
I'm with JE on that one.
100%.
Like they cannot afford to get off to a slow start. And another thing that they can't afford is to have poor goaltending in that slow start, because that's going to raise a ton of questions, and that's going to go back to that McDavid discussion, and it's going to throw even more gasoline on the fire.
Yeah, because if you can't solve what's in the net, then
because that's the thing. I mean, you want to talk about Igor Shesterkin being the greatest playoff goaltender. I still think it's Vasilevsky, but Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard have not even been passable in the playoffs. They're not even been passable. Like, at least if they have above average goaltending, like let's just say they got John Gibson instead of Detroit, they could have a chance. But they don't even have a Gibson. They don't even have a goaltender that's anywhere close to him.
they don't even have an Aiden Hill.
Crap in net.
Because, to borrow an old quote from a 1994 movie, Stuart Skinner's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. So, which I always hated that, because don't they have a label on it? Still. Anyway, let's do some NHL Bar Talk.
Shot. This is the easiest I've ever to answer.
I'm going to say beer. I can't even begin to describe.
I'm actually going to go crazy. I'm going to buy everybody around on this one. And welcome back, everybody, to Big Apple Hockey's Bar Talk. We're gauging our confidence on NHL topics based on our choice of drink. You're so confident that you're buying around. So have a beer, or, oh, God, give me a shot. Put it down in the comments below what you guys think. Go ahead and use emojis. And I always give the free publicity to my bar. Wing Wednesday at Boss Croakers. Come on down. 40-cent wings, $2 tacos, chicken or steak, hard or soft, does not matter. $4 Miller Lights and Yinglings. Go see Oli and Jimmy tonight. They would love to see you. All right. And by the way, watch our massive New York Rangers season preview and our massive New York Islanders season preview, because we have been absolutely crushing it as far as like the previews go the last few days and giving you guys the best coverage that you could possibly find. Phil, let's start off with this one. Let's look at a guy that's already on the New York Rangers that nobody really talks about, but Sam Carrick, pretty good year. 6 goals, 14 assists, second year of a 3-year, $1 million deal. Scored last night. Very nonchalant about it. But Sam Carrick is the best value contract on the New York Rangers.
Shot.
Okay.
I don't know what we're basing this off of.
No, how much he makes and how much he's produced, or his production.
He's a $1 million player that gave you 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's kind of like the fourth liners, the going rate is probably a little closer to 2 million these days, but like I can't say that's the best value.
Mm-hmm.
Like I look at this. I'd still have to say it's probably Vinny Trocheck as of right now. Like, he gives you 50. What he had 56 points last year, I think it was.
Yeah, he did a down year. It was 56, something like that.
It's still, but you're getting 59 points last year. 59 points last year when Artemi Panarin had a down year and he's still a very solid number 2 center. I want to say Gavrikov, but we have no data on him at this point.
Yeah, we don't know what he is as a New York Ranger yet.
What he is, it's just we can't. You really can't say that because he hasn't played a game under that new deal. So I that's the only reason I won't use Gavrikov. I love him at 7 million even. I do, but I just we don't have data yet. Sorry guys, but it's got to be Trocheck for me. It's shot on Sam Carrick. I mean, yeah, it's good value. 20 points for $1 million is good value. I'm not gonna lie, but it's best value contract probably not. No shot.
Anthony.
Yeah, I think it's a shot as well. $1 million for a solid fourth line player. It gave you 20 points. Yeah, I mean that's okay. Nothing to sneeze at. But for me, I agreed with Evan. I think it's Will Cooley for sure. I mean, 3.9 guy just does everything, score, physical. So yeah, for me, it's Cooley. Trocheck too, contender, but I go Cooley.
Phil, what'd you say right there?
Another one on a new deal. We don't have any data on him on this new deal. I mean,
but he's still last year, so I guess.
I know. It's just he was. So what he did last year was on his previous deal, though. That's what I'm just trying to say. Like I can't. He was making $828K, which is crazy value for that, but that's also an ELC. So.
Well, one reason why I brought this up is because Carrick scored and Dave Maloney said dollar for dollar, I thought he was the best value on the New York Rangers. I kind of got to go Vinny Trocheck, but I'll go beer on it. Let's say if he was in the top 3 for the money you're paying him and the money you're paying him now, I thought he produced very well. I like the way he played, but still I could point to Vinny Trocheck. I could point to UC Parson and just kidding. But there's kind of other guys on the team you could argue in that category,
Miller
and other guys that need to now earn their money, like Igor Shesterkin and Alexei Lafreniere. There's 2 of them that you have to make sure those guys now know you got to earn this money. So let's see if they can do that. One guy that wants to get paid like them one day is Cal Ritchie. And Cal Ritchie, who scored last night. Was it last night his debut, Anthony? I forgot to ask you this.
Yeah, he didn't play the previous game. Yeah.
All right, good, because I did put debut. I'd hate to make yet another mistake. So, but the Islanders should keep J.G. Pajot and Cal Ritchie on the roster, and the player they should move is Casey Cizikas.
Yeah, we kind of talked about where's the path for Ritchie to play on the island, and a lot of the assumption is you move Pajot to make room for him, but some Islander fans making the case of Cizikas is getting older. Obviously the Deming line's gone now with Martin retiring and Clutterbuck, so that he's the last piece left. So it's good. It's good in theory. You make Cal Ritchie the third line center and Pajot the fourth line center. But problem that is, Pajot makes $5 million. You don't want him playing as your fourth line center. Plus, he's too good for that role. I mean, the guy scored 40-something points last year. So, I get where it comes from. But to be honest with you, I don't see them moving a guy like Cizikas, career Islander. Just got 2 years left. It might happen, especially with like Danny Nelson coming in the future. But maybe that's still a year away. So, I like it in theory. I don't see them moving Cizikas, and I'm kind of iffy about it on Pajot. They might let Ritchie just start, dominating the AHL before bringing him up. So I'm gonna go beer here.
So we're gonna go beer right there. And as Anthony was just saying, he was being honest with us, or also saying,
To be fair.
should the Islanders move Casey Cizikas over J.G. Pajot or Callum Ritchie going down?
Shot. I honestly think you'd get more for Pajot than you would for Cizikas. And I'm not saying that Cizikas is a bad player or anything, or that he doesn't have value, but I just think that teams would value Pajot more than they would value Cizikas. And I think there's a clear level of play between the two of them, difference of play. I think Zizekas is more of a fourth, third line tweener, and Pajot is closer to the upper end of third line centers. I think that if Pajot was made available, and I think if the Islanders were willing to retain on him, I think they could muster up a market for him, because he's only got 1 year left on his deal at $5 million. And I mean, it's a 16 team no trade, and you got to imagine that when he submits that list, you're probably looking at teams that are not the playoff hunt that are on that no trade. Yeah, I mean, that's another story. Let's star that. Let's go into that later, because that's good discussion material for later. But I look at someone like Pajot, and I think if the Islanders are out of the race, like, you would have to be foolish to not move Pajot. I really do. I think that you could, maybe you could get a first depending on what he's doing. Maybe. I don't know, because of this year's draft is very deep. But if you're going to get a second and, like, let's just say a C to a B level prospect, you gotta really, like, move JG Pajot at that point. And I know a second is a second, but you get multiple seconds in this draft. This is a deep draft. So they're from what I'm hearing about this year's draft, it's round one is going to be very deep, and there's still going to be players that are first round quality in other years' drafts that are going to be in round two. So you're going to want multiple picks in the first 2 rounds of this year's draft. So for me, I mean, listen, yeah, and this is really it. If you have that available and you can drum up the market, you're going to find a team that'll overpay. So,
I'm trying to think with my head and not my heart in this one, because in my opinion, Casey Zizekas has career Islander written all over him. But I'm still going to go shot. I think the best move is we talked about this yesterday. I think the best move would be to have Callum Ritchie go down to the AHL, get top 6 minutes. I do think he could thrive in the NHL in a lesser role, put him on, for lack of a better term, the Claude Giroux plan, where they had him on the fourth line and brought him along slowly, and then he broke out. And I think Callum Ritchie would actually thrive in a plan like that, because I don't think he's so egotistical. You got to, like, play him 25 minutes a night or something like that. I think he would actually just be a team player with that. JG Pajot is your better trade bait out of the 3, even though Zizekas' contract is very friendly, but it's also very friendly to the Islanders. Everybody forgets about that. It's $2.5 million for this year and next. This guy, out of the identity line, he can play with anybody, I think. So I wouldn't exactly cast aside Casey Zizekas. He's too good of a player. And I definitely think the Islanders should hold on to him as long as they can. One guy that's been with his organization for a while and really has shown his true value the last couple of years, but Nico Hischier, you look at him with the New Jersey Devils last year, 69 points, 35 goals, 34 assists. He was 4th in Selke voting 2 years after he was the runner-up.
35 goals too, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody forgets that about Hischier. Like, this guy brings the offense. So, Anthony, go right back to you. Nico Hischier is the best all-around center in the Metropolitan Division.
The only reason why I'm not saying round is because there's still a guy around in Sidney Crosby that is very good and just as responsible as he's like just such a heady, smart player. And because he's Sidney Crosby, I gotta give the respect to him. So I'm gonna say beer. Other than Crosby, though, I look at, and not to knock, Islanders got good centers, the Rangers got good centers, but we're not just talking about offense. We're talking about all around. So yeah, other than Crosby, I don't think there's a better all around center in the Metro than Nico Hischier.
Filk?
I don't know. I don't know if I say shot just because I definitively think it's Crosby. Like, I think I have to say shot because it's definitively him. Like, Hischier may be more regarded in the Selke Trophy race, but I think if the Penguins were even a halfway decent team, like if they were like a bubble team to like a wild card team, I think Crosby could finally win that Selke. I think he's on that level. I think he's one of the best all-around players in the league. Everybody's going to say Barkov just because he can produce 90 points and still win the Selke. Like, he's a point-per-game Selke winner. But I think Crosby's, like, right there. I really do think that if it wasn't for Barkov and, Pittsburgh just not being a good team, I think Crosby would have won a Selke already. I do. So I got to say shot at this point. It's because it's Crosby for me.
Oh, this is a tough one to answer. I think it's definitely Crosby, so I'm gonna have to go shot on this one too. Because as long as Sidney Crosby is in the Metro, it's not going to be Nico Hischier, even though he's closing the gap, but it's because Crosby is getting older, but he's still more than effective. That being said, I'd still have to put Sebastian Aho ahead of him. Not by much. Not by much.
You think Aho's better than Hischier defensively? I don't.
I think his offense is enough, not defensively.
Player.
But Aho's no slouch defensively. So,
no, he's not. And I'll you know what?
I get, yeah.
Well, mark on this one.
But hold on, does Jack Hughes's offense outweigh and get him over Hischier all around to be more? If you say if his defense is like this, but his offense is like this,
Jack Hughes is he's usually up there in takeaways, but I mean, if we're gonna judge defense based on takeaways only, then Leon Draisaitl is one of the very best players in the entire league,
hands down.
But I mean, defensively, I should say at that point. But it's like I don't think you can judge based off that one. Like, you don't cherry pick that. Like, if we're gonna cherry pick, we might as well have said that Marek Malik was the best defenseman in the 03-04 season because he led the league in plus minus. Like, it doesn't really work like that. Like, there are other aspects of playing defense.
Well, Phil, I'm kind of nitpicking because we're trying to say that he's the best all-around center. I think he's got a very strong case. And I mean, does JT Miller get his hat thrown in that ring? I mean, look at if you talk about all around, where's Bo Horvat in that? There's those factors that you just got to think of for a second. But that being said, yeah, Hischier's got a great case. I mean, I love what you get out of him, and especially now that he's healthy. He's the kind of proof that a first-round draft pick, sometimes it takes some time to get him there. Like, again, he was a guy that he had the injury bug most of his career, and then since he's been healthy, he's been more than a productive player, and you knew exactly why the Devils put the C on him as well. Let's not forget the leadership category. So, yeah, I think he's got a great case, but definitively I could say it's Sidney Crosby that made me go all the way down the shot. Could have been beer. But also, by the way, guys, this is why it's bar talk, because we're just talking over drinks right now. Let's go up to Montreal and look at their battle. Could be brewing in net. But Jacob Fowler, who was with BC last year, 25-7-2, 163 goals against, 940 save percentage. Wow, that's good numbers. That's good numbers. And then you look at him with Laval. He was 2-1, 2.32 goals against, and a 914 save percentage. Those are still good numbers, even though he was 2-1. Phil, gonna look at you with this one. Canadians, Jacob Fowler will take the starting job away from Sam Montembeault.
Let's say shot. I think one day he's going to be the guy there. Like, I'm high on him. I've watched a lot of him. This year, no. I don't see it. And I'm not even You actually spelled Montembeau wrong. You forgot the N there. Mont. So.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like you got to think about it this way. He's got a cup of coffee like in the AHL. I mean, he's not really there yet. Like he's got to it's a lot to ask. It really is a lot to ask, and I don't see it this year. I definitely see it down the road. He's the guy there. He is absolutely the guy there of the future, but it's not there yet. So let him actually play some games in the AHL and then just work his way up. I would not be shocked at some point if he played some games for them this season, but definitely not this year.
All right. Anthony, you think that he can actually take the job away now?
Not now. But he is going to be the guy there. And I'm going to go Beer only because I do think if Montembeau struggles, he might be looking behind him a little bit. His feet might get a little hot there. Montreal, the expectation is to make it to the playoffs again. So if he struggles, and Fowler is doing his thing, I think they could give him a shot. And sometimes all it takes like the Drew Bledsoe treatment, right? You get hurt, or next guy comes in, and then that's curtains after that. So yeah, so if Montembeau struggles, or let's say he did get hurt, and Fowler steps in and plays well, then I think that's all she wrote. But for now, though, I think Montembeau is comfortably the starter.
By the way, for anybody that doesn't remember, Drew Bledsoe got injured, and the guy that took over for him was somebody named Tom Brady.
Wally Pipp.
Yeah, Wally Pipp. He asked out of a game one day for a rest. The guy that took over for him was Lou Gehrig, and he didn't have a day off until he succumbed to Lou Gehrig's disease.
One of the best first basemen of all time.
And he's some statistics with him are so just mind-boggling. I will say this right before we continue. 176 RBIs in 1927, and he did that behind Babe Ruth, who hit 60 home runs. A minimum of 60 times he came to the plate with nobody on base. I believe that's the fourth most in American League history that he had. So,
I think he actually had a season that was more than that with RBIs.
Yes, he had other ones that were more than that. He had, I think, two more. I think he had 184.
I think he had 184 was the record?
Yeah, I think he had 184
185
as well.
is the record for RBIs. And it was 1931.
Yeah.
And he didn't win the MVP that year. He led the majors in RBIs, home runs, runs, plate appearances, and he did not win the MVP in 1931. Unbelievable. Lefty Grove won it.
Can you imagine having 185 RBIs and not winning the MVP? That's like Mario Lemieux having 199 points and not winning the MVP either.
Gretzky won it because it was his first year in LA, and he helped Bernie Nichols have a 70-goal, 150-point year. And LA went from, I think, missing the playoffs to making it.
Well, let me continue Anthony's thinking on this one. And I think you might have a point. If Sam Montembeau struggles, he's going to look over his shoulder. But the problem is, Anthony, he's not going to see Jacob Fowler. He's going to see Jacob Dobish. And I think that's what's going to happen first. Goalies take a little bit longer to develop. I look at those numbers. I'm not saying Jacob Fowler is at the same level as the player I'm about to name, but I was very high on Devin Levi, and he's not even with Buffalo anymore. So it's where's he right there? Fowler, I think, will eventually be the guy. I think you're right. I think everybody is. I think it's going to take some time. Although that would be a good story if he ends up taking over the net. And hopefully Montreal doesn't do the three-headed net.
Devin Levi's still at Buffalo.
He is still in Buffalo? Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I thought he wasn't with Buffalo anymore.
Devin Levi leaving from?
Who did I mix that one up with? Well, you know what, guys? I've had a couple of these today, so there we go. There's a little mark messed up. So we don't have that graphic for anyone else, just for the record. And Johnny, if you kept track on you versus me, the stats would be much higher I'd have many more mistakes. I would definitely not be 1-0. So let's go on, guys, to a guy we were talking about in the very beginning, and Filk even talked about him in our first segment, Kyle Connor. Kyle Connor had 97 points, a career high, 41 goals, 56 assists. He's going to be a pending UFA at the end of the year. Mr. LaRocco, we know Filk said before he's going to go along with that point again that he thinks Kyle Connor is going to re-sign. What do you think is Kyle Connor going to re-sign during the season? At the start? Oh, sorry.
I said Connor McDavid.
Oh, he said Connor McDavid. Oh, Anthony said Kyle Connor.
Yeah,
I do think Kyle Connor's staying, but before the start of the season, you know what? I think Connor might be looking at a guy like Kaprizov and say like, kind of like, oh, let me wait to see what Kaprizov gets because maybe I can get something similar, you know. So there's that little bit of the game going on. I do think Kyle Connor's staying with the Winnipeg Jets. I do think that's genuine desire to stay, and I think the feeling's mutual on the other side. Before the start of the season, I'll say beer. I mean, I certainly think it's possible, but I'm not going to guarantee it and say round.
Filk, now that we have the prediction right, do you think Connor is going to sign at the start of the season?
we've got, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13. We have Alexei Lafreniere days left, not including today. So that's 13.
Now, was that Alexei Lafreniere before the contract or after the contract? Because obviously, Alexei Lafreniere's numbers went down significantly after he signed that extension.
Oh, no, he's talking about his jersey number, Mark.
Oh, I know. I just figured take a shot at Alexei Lafreniere.
Oh, Mark, jeez. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this to you. You deserve the Francesa treatment after that one. So yeah, I shot. They have just under 2 weeks to get him signed. I've heard the last on him is that the talks are progressing somewhat, but they're still like somewhat far apart. I mean, it's good that they're talking at least. Then it's going in the right direction, which is a positive, but I don't see it before the start of the season. I could see it though in like October or November, maybe. If it stays at the course and the way that it's going now and things are good and provided they don't hit any snags and then get into like a war of the meteor or something like that, I could see it in like October or November.
Yeah. I'm going to go beer on this one. I think there's a chance it could happen.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, beer. Yeah, I should have said
yeah.
beer.
I actually said shot originally, I thought. But
did I say shot? I don't know.
I think you did say I thought you said shot. I think they could get it done. He might want to get it done so there's no distractions the rest of the year. This is another tough one because the funny things could happen in contract negotiations, but I think Connor's gonna get signed and get that done right now, and that it's a full, because after all, Winnipeg was able to do it with Scheifele and Hellebuck 2 years ago to get them both under contract before the season started. Let's see if Kevin Cheveldayoff could do that again. Guys, a very prominent LA athlete is going to hang it up after the season. And of course, I mean Clayton Kershaw. Oh, wait. There's another guy. And by the way, the same guy made the same joke. And you look at the LA Kings, their all-time scoring list: Marcel Dion, 1,307 points. Anze Kopitar, 1,278. Luc Robitaille, 1,154. And Dave Taylor at 1,069. I have to smile as we're going to put this one up too. But Wayne Gretzky is fifth in King scoring with 918 points in 537 games. That's unbelievable.
It's just ridiculous.
That's unbelievable.
Ridiculous.
All right. So,
as Anthony LaRocco would say, absurd.
That's absurd. All right. Filk, You're the Wayne Gretzky guy. Aside from Wayne Gretzky, Anze Kopitar is the best LA King of all time.
Everybody talks about Wayne Gretzky. I mean, for me, like a lot of people say Luke Robitaille is Mr. King. I don't think without Gretzky, I don't think the LA Kings are the franchise they are. I really think that he kind of put them on the map. I will say that Anze Kopitar, like, he's got the Stanley Cups. He should have had a Conn Smythe. I don't get why he didn't have that Conn Smythe in 2014. I mean, the same way they argued Sidney Crosby in 2016 for the Conn Smythe, that how, like, he should have won it over Kessel, who led the Penguins in the playoffs in scoring. I understand it. It's the matchups. Like, he put up he was Anze Kopitar led the playoffs in scoring both times while being their top matchup guy, shutting down the opposition, and was scoring at a high level. So for me, I respect the shit out of Anze Kopitar. Like, he's hell of a player. Just hell of a player. And I still wish that the Rangers would have been able to move up one more spot to take him ahead of LA in that 2005 draft. But I'll say beer. I don't know if Wayne Gretzky is the greatest king of all time, but if you're arguing the top 5 or the top 3, it's probably Gretzky, Kopitar, and Robitaille. So I gotta say beer.
Anthony, you think he's number 2 for the best king of all time?
Yeah, I mean, cups, Filkowski, points is up there. Yeah, I mean, I have he was Mr. King. It looks like Mr. Robitaille was, but I mean, Anze Kopitar was the face of that franchise since shortly after he got there, and all the success you might want to measure a hockey player can have, he's had it. So yeah, for me, I'm gonna say round here.
I'm torn, which means I have to say beer. I do think Wayne Gretzky is the most influential person to LA Kings history. You could argue that twice, because the upset of the 82 playoffs, I think it was, where the Oilers got beat by the Kings. That you could argue.
Manchester, yeah.
Yeah, the Miracle in Manchester, where Dwight Evans in overtime with that winner, and then they went on to win that series. But you got that one. Then he gets traded to the Kings, puts him in the Stanley Cup Finals, has 40 points in the playoff season for the second time in his career. It might have been third. I got to double check that. But so I got to go Gretzky number 1. Maybe that's just because my heart just says I watched that guy. He was Mr. King. However, it doesn't have that title, Mr. King. After all, Ranger fans know Mr. Ranger is actually Rod Gilbert. I wouldn't say he's up there for the greatest Ranger of all time, but that's a different story. I think for the Kings, short list of greatest Kings of all time: Gretzky, Robitaille, Dion, Quick, Kopitar, and Doughty. So you got to figure out the order of importance with all those guys. I think Kopitar, though, it's either Kopitar or Doughty from this crop of Kings. So I got to go beer on it. I can't give you a definitive answer. I do think Kopitar will go down as possibly one of the most underrated players in NHL history, because I don't think he gets the love everywhere that everybody talked about Doughty for years as being the best defenseman in the league. Nobody does that with Kopitar. There was always some other guy that you looked at. And it's funny that you're in the LA market and not as good. All right. Or not as much attention. All right, guys. The Edmonton Oilers introduced their third jersey this weekend. I will work on getting those jerseys up. But out of all the new third jerseys, which are the Edmonton Oilers, Ottawa Senators, Washington Capitals, Seattle Kraken, the Kraken is the best Mr. LaRocco, you're our fashion police.
So Ottawa, Edmonton, Washington. Going between Washington's and Seattle's. I like that Seattle tried to think outside of the box with like the Dallas Stars glow in the dark black jerseys. The Kraken's third jersey is the same thing. It glows in the dark. They went with a black base jersey, which is normally not in their color scheme. But then the Capitals, I'm a fan of their old red, white, and blue colors. So they incorporated that scheme with the Screaming Eagle, changed the shoulders a little bit from the reverse retro one they made. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go beer. I'm gonna say I like the Capitals the best.
All right, here's the Edmonton one first.
Yeah, go back to the Ottawa. Let me see the Ottawa one again. I'm sorry.
I didn't get the Ottawa one up yet.
Because I haven't seen the Ottawa one.
Okay, so there's Edmonton right there. I'm trying to get the Ottawa one.
I've seen the Seattle one. I like the Seattle one. It looks.
So what?
It looks better.
Ottawa Senators jersey. Trying to get their third on there. Sorry, guys. This was one thing I tried to get. Oh, actually, this one does look pretty good. This is the Ottawa Senators. Third jersey coming in right now. I'm going to remove that one. We'll get the Senators in right there. There's their third jersey. I'm only allowed to do one of these at a time, guys. So let's get the Kraken third jersey. And yes, this one does look inventive with their with the glow in the dark. So Kraken. By the way, also let this be known, you should always have everything ready to go so your people aren't waiting.
silly Mariota, man.
Oh yeah. I do like that one. I think they did a really good job with that one. That's the one that can glow in the dark too. I forgot. You know what? Yeah, I like Ottawa's, but I'm gonna go with Seattle's. I think Seattle's is pretty cool.
And this should be the Caps third jersey coming at you right now. That's not that one. That's Ottawa.
Gabriel. We've seen that with the Stars, but their jerseys look like they wanted to join like the next Tron movie. So wasn't really like a fan of that.
Which I would be interested in seeing the new Tron movie, but it's got Jared Leto in it. That takes away a star for me. So, like, I wonder if Jared Leto really thought he was inside of a computer when this happened, man.
I wonder if Jared Leto and Seth Rollins get together and have like conversations about leading cults and stuff like that. Because Seth Rollins is basically a Jared Leto ripoff these days.
Yeah. So the Kraken one, I'm going to agree with you guys. I think the Kraken one's the best one. So
Washington needs to go back to the Screaming Eagles in general, but the actual blue and the black and the white ones. So,
yeah, I think this one needed the Capitals written on there, like the way the old one did.
Yeah,
the reverse retro back in the day. So I didn't put down everybody else's reactions on that. So yeah, I'm gonna go with I think it's the Kraken one was the best one because it really kind of the glow in the dark thing. I can't wait to see what that looks like. So especially when they jump out on the ice the first time with that.
This is a good pick of Jared Leto and Nicolas Cage. I always think of the Saturday Night Live with Nicolas Cage. You got lights, you got cameras, pitching technology. Crazy.
Nick Cage, actually, I think he's got a little bit of a bad rap. But Nick Cage, I mean, he's got some performances. Like we were watching, I watched National Treasure for the first time the other night, and about a week ago, and it was a it was definitely a fun movie to watch. It was a Jerry Bruckheimer movie through and through. You could tell with that they were going on to 9,000 different locations. But I do think Jared Leto was definitely more the overactor thing. The thing I just can't stand about Jared Leto is that, oh, well, you see, I had this character that was blind, so I put on contacts so I couldn't see. Oh, so you're not acting, you're just blind. That's not acting. So I have other comments I've made for him. Yeah, what a War was pretty good for both of them in the same thing. But I do have to say, also, my favorite part of Fight Club was when Jared Leto got his face smashed in. So that's it on that. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching us on Big Apple Hockey Bar Talk, where we gauge our confidence on NHL topics based on our choice of drink. And actually, before I went to Puckdoku, Anthony, did you have a blind ranking to troll me on? Or
Yeah, I do. I was going to do it after Puckdoku.
Oh, okay. We'll do it after Puckdoku. All right.
Jared Leto, Billy Corgan, ego off. Let's see who has the bigger ego there.
No, geez. How is it not Jared Leto?
Oh,
all right.
You don't know Billy Corgan then.
No, I know, but still.
Oh, Billy Corgan, man. Billy Corgan thinks Billy Corgan is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Billy Corgan invented movies, is right. Billy Corgan also invented rock and roll and also invented professional wrestling.
Phil, can you oh wait, no, hold on. That's how you maximize that. All right, guys.
It's different now. You can still see the background though behind this.
Yeah.
Oh, why is that?
Because it's not as big as the rest of it, so I guess that's it. Maybe if could sliding it up help? No, it doesn't. All right. All right, guys. So you have on the top axis, we have an Islander, a Blue, and a Boston Bruin. And the y-axis is a King, a Blue Jacket, and a goaltender. I think I know where Anthony's going to attack right away, but he's going to prove me wrong because he's Anthony. He just always does.
I have a good one for the Bruins and the Kings, and I would go with Steve Hines.
Steve Hines, that is a good one.
Yeah.
Mark, so for the Blues and the Kings, we got Constant Crossman.
Constant Crossman. All right.
Yes, he did. He invented the map. Billy Corgan.
Yeah. And you did have to, doesn't he like cover like a bunch of his own songs? Like I know he did Landslide, but anyway. Okay. Go ahead, guys. What do you got for
Islanders goalie? Let's go Mark Fitzpatrick.
And Anthony did not go where I thought he was going to go first.
What?
Mark, I thought you were going to go right there to the Islanders in
Boston Bruins goalie John Blue.
And I'll take the St. Louis Blues.
Did he really get 2%? Are you? Wow,
he got 2%.
That's shit. Oh,
Pat Jablonski. Put him over at 0.7.
For Islanders and Blue Jackets, go Duran Quint.
Wow, I did not think you were doing that. I thought for sure it was going to be Jeff Norton.
Jeff Norton never played for Columbus.
Oh, who was the one that played? Oh, Scott LaChance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Chance played for the Blues, right?
LaChance, no. Canadians, Blue Jackets, Islanders, and I think there might be one more team, but it wasn't the Blues.
All right. So right now we have left the Islanders and the Kings, which that could have been Mark Fitzpatrick as well. And I think Glenn Healy.
I think Glenn Healy's going to be too popular of an answer there.
Okay. Well, I think I know where we're going on that one. But you got the Blues and the Blue Jackets and the Bruins and the Blue Jackets. Do you guys want to go Josh Green right here?
Where?
Or Jokinen?
LA and Josh Green is a good one. That's going to be somebody that's nobody's going to. Yeah.
Josh Green, 0.1%. Which, by the way, that's 1.9 less than John Blue.
I can't believe John Blue is a 10. That is one of the most mind-boggling things ever. The only reason why I even say John Blue is because he's Andy Moog's backup in NHL 94.
I just can't help but laugh about it, Phil, because I didn't really remember he existed. So,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
Who the hell actually remembers this guy? Aside from someone like me who has no life.
Yeah, but apparently there's plenty of other people. So you're not alone.
That's scary.
All right. Okay, what else do we got, guys? I mean, which one of the
Jackets?
Which one of the Ferentzes played in Columbus?
Who?
Did one of the Ferentzes play in Columbus?
Oh, Ferentz. No, I don't think Brad.
No, I don't think so.
Maybe Brad. Yeah, it would have been Brad Ferentz.
Andrew played in Boston, but I don't think he played in Columbus. No, he was Pittsburgh, Calgary, Boston, and Edmonton. Yeah, no. Borny only played in Columbus. He never played anywhere else.
Yeah, which kind of shocked me. I thought he would catch on somewhere.
Underrated player. Was very good.
Yeah.
Could give you 50 to 60 points in a season. It's a name that nobody really talks about.
Did Jamie McClellan? No, Jamie McClellan never played for Columbus.
We could have used Steve Hines too. For Boston and Columbus, we could have used Steve Hines. Shit.
Yeah, we could have used Steve Hines there. Jamie McClennan. I think Jamie McClennan might have had a stopover in one of those teams.
I think McClennan was a Blue Jacket. I'm not sure about a Bruin though.
He was. I was talking. No, I was asking for the Blues and Blue Jackets because I know he played for the Blues. I wasn't sure.
He played for the Blues. He never played for the Blue Jackets. Jamie McClennan, 4 starts for the New York Rangers. I'm trying to go through my list of guys that I would think of that played for other teams. Nope.
No.
No, we were motoring through this, and now we're suddenly stumped, boys. Got 2 more we got to go with. I mean, we don't have to go for
Blues, Blue Jackets. Aaron Johnson.
Aaron Johnson. There we go.
Islander. Anthony would say that one.
Aaron Johnson, Blues, Blue Jackets. No,
Blue Jackets, Bruins.
You did say Blues, Blue Jackets.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, you did.
Bad.
Okay, let's get this all done again.
That's my rule.
All right.
Yeah, I heard you say it too. That wasn't.
I did. No, I guess I did. Yeah, Blues. The Blue Jackets, Bruins.
All right. So
use Steve Hines in that and CBJ Boston. No, never mind.
Oh
no, not there.
No, not here. Because I was so stuck on Aaron Johnson.
Yeah, that's Steve Hines in the Bruins Kings one.
Who was the Columbus Islander?
Columbus Islander could have been Aaron Johnson.
Quinn.
Deron Quinn, yeah.
Okay.
I think my niece is friends with like his kids. Here we go.
Don't put John Blue. Don't put John
Blue. All right.
Let me think of somebody else.
We'll think of another one in a minute then. All right.
Crossman, Kings, Blues.
Crossman, Kings, Blues. Yeah, that's right. Constant Crossman. And this was Steve Hines up here. Yeah. Okay. So.
Oh, I got a good one. And I thought he did play for him for a very short time. Brian Finley for Boston. First rounder from 99.
There you go. Could have gone Jim Craig too if we wanted to.
No, that would have been too popular.
It might have been. That's true.
Yeah, that would have been way too popular.
I mean,
everyone knows
Jim
that
Craig on Atlanta was a different story. I don't think anybody remembered that one. So we still have the Columbus Blue Jackets and the St. Louis Blue.
Patrick Berglund never played for the Blue Jackets, right?
No, and that would have been too popular because of his time in St. Louis.
Yeah. I get the feeling there probably aren't a lot of players that played for both Columbus and Blues.
There aren't, but I'm going to have one around.
Christian Backman?
I think Christian Backman is it.
Popular, though.
Well, I know popular, but when there might not be a lot, it might not be as big of a.
Hold on. Let me see if I can think of somebody else. Hold on. Did Christoph Oliwa play for the Bruins? I know he played for Pittsburgh.
This one is Columbus and St. Louis.
Christoph Oliwa.
He played for St. Louis?
No, for St. Louis. Oh, never mind. Okay.
I think Christian Backman's our answer on that one. We'll take our lumps, guys. We already took the 2 points off before. So Christian Backman, uniqueness score of 1. Yeah, so we got it down to 1. Let's just see what the stats are right here for that guy for St. Louis. There's somebody we're missing. St. Louis versus and Columbus. Actually, even Adam Cracknell would have been 1%. Nick Drazanovich, did I pronounce that right? Is the only player that would have been under 1%.
Jordan Leopold, Chris Russell, Darryl Thedor.
I completely forgot Michael Delzato had a stop in Columbus. But Brendan Saad was in there. All right. And just in case, let's just see who's below John Blue. Rogie Vachon, I already saw that one. Rob Tallis, Marty Turco got a 1%. These are guys below John Blue. I have to just say that Jonas Corpusalo, who's their current goaltender, is at 2% with him. Jim Carey, 1.7. Tiny Thompson, Bill Ramford, Blaine Walker, 1.5. I thought about Marty Turco, thinking he was going to be low. Bernie Perron, rest his soul. We have to actually pay tribute to him in a moment. Pete Peters, who was a big one over there. Terry Sawchuk got under 1%. That's one of those. I'm like, wow. John Graham, I always thought he was synonymous. No, he was synonymous with Tampa Bay more than the Brewers. But Jim Craig, 0.4.
Wow, 0.4 for Jim Craig?
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget Jim Craig had an actual professional career.
Wow, all right. I thought people would know that he was the Bruins. I mean, if you would have said for the Flames, Jim Craig, I think that number would be even less. I think there would be a lot of people that would not remember that he played for the Flames. It's also a team that doesn't exist anymore, the Atlanta Flames. So,
yeah. So I mean that kind of would hurt or help it, I guess.
This is looks like it's leading you to Kirill Kaprizov.
I agree. It's definitely leading you towards Kirill Kaprizov. Your bottom is this is the pyramid we're doing right now. KHL, 30-goal season, 20-plus games played in the playoffs, 250 career points, and a Minnesota Wild member. And that's the second row, the top row.
Right, so KHL, Pavel Brendel in KHL.
Okay, because Brendel did play in the NHL. I think they have to play in the NHL in order to be in this.
Yeah, he did. Now it's a KHL that also had a 30-goal season. That means Alexei Morozov we can't use because he hasn't had.
Peter Pruka?
Peter Pruka did have a 30-goal season. Did he play in KHL?
That's the question.
I'm not sure if he played in a KHL, though. I think he might have went back to the Czech Republic.
Checking that one real quick because Peter Pruka.
No, he did. He played for SKA his last 3 years of hockey. He played for SKA.
But Peter Pruka
30 goal rookie year with the Rangers.
Yes. However, how many playoff games does he have? He has 24 playoff games.
That's not you're not at that category yet anyway. So
right. You might want to save him for the next one.
Well, no, Nikolai Kulemin
got a good point.
Nikolai Kuhlman scored 30 goals playing the KHL.
He's got 30. He's got 20 playoff games.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Wait, who?
Kuhlman
okay.
Yeah, he
So
had a 30-goal season.
for Toronto. Yeah.
Yeah. Does he have? I think he probably does meet the playoff requirements.
does Nikolai Kuhlman have enough 250 points?
You're not at that 250 points yet.
Yeah, I know.
I
Just saying, you
understand
might
that,
want to save him.
yeah, he does have 250 career points. So yeah, I understand what Mark is trying to do.
I see what he's saying. Well, yeah, I mean, either way, I mean, I'm sure there's another
He's
Russian
got 25
player.
playoff games too, Nikolai Kuhlman. So yes, he fits both of these.
Okay. So do we have somebody for the next one? That's my only question.
30-goal KHL, and then you want to keep Kuhlman for the next one? Okay, yeah, I see what you're doing.
Right.
20+ playoff games.
Like, would Evgeny Kuznetsov be a good person to use right here?
Sergei Makarov, you could use him. Wait, hold on. Does the KHL factor into the Russian Super League, or is it strictly KHL?
I think it's just strictly KHL, the Continental Hockey League.
If it's not just strictly KHL and it's Russian Super League, Sergei Makarov fits here.
I think we're going to find that out soon enough, Phil. Well, I mean, one guy we could use also is Pavel Dimitra. He's got 250 career points, right?
You might want to save him.
Absolutely.
You might want to save him for the Minnesota Wild, though.
Yeah, I was going to say
Good
that.
point, Anthony. Good point.
I think he might be a popular one for that mention, though.
He might be, but then again, you ask yourself how many Russian players that played for the Wild meet the right. So there might not be many.
It's not even. It doesn't have to be Russian. It could also be a guy that just had a big year over there.
Like, do you know any Americans that were over there? Did Danny Heatley play over there?
No, I don't think Heatley played there. I think Heatley played in a German league. I think
just play Mark. Just plug
Kuhlman
in there. I think it doesn't.
All right, Kuhlman's in. Yeah, so Pavel Dimitra right here. You know what? Let's go right back to that unfortunate incident. Does Brad McCrimmon fall into there? No, because he doesn't play at the KHL.
Yeah.
He coached. He didn't play.
I don't think he played.
Checking right now.
Alexei Yashin.
He fits all of that. I think.
I think
because I'm pretty sure Kovalchuk does too. Yashin, I think, played in, was it Magnitogorsk after his?
Yeah, after he left the
Or no, he played Lokomotiv and then SKA and then CSKA Moscow. So
say the words and I hit select.
Yeah, Yashin could work.
Yashin still has this as a unique to score as 0.
All right,
so now here's where it gets. So a player that played in the KHL, 30-goal season, 20 playoff games, 250 points, and played for the Minnesota Wild. Is there anybody else other than Pavel Dimitra that has fit this category?
Now you got to get to that and the Minnesota Wild.
Thomas Vanek? Because Vanek played for the Wild.
I don't think Vanek played in the KHL. I know that because I don't think he did went there after he left. He might have just flat out retired. Yeah, he flat out retired after 2015. And even in the lockout year, he played in Austria. He didn't play in the KHL. Hold on, Setaguchi?
Devin Setaguchi could be somebody.
If he played in the KHL during the 2013 lockout, I think he had a 30-goal year.
Yeah, because didn't he replace John DeCiccio? 31 goals in 09, 08, 09 specifically.
He in 2015-16 he played in Davos, and then he played in the DEL in 2018. So now, but he would have been a good fit because he had everything.
What about the population just went up in Pominville? What about in the lockout? Did he go to the KHL?
No, I think he went to Swiss. I thought he played with Joe Thornton
Because he had 30 goals. He had 30 goals.
That's
I know that. Yeah.
No, in the 2013 lockout, he played in Germany.
Damn it.
That would have been a good one.
Neither of the seasons had 30 goals.
Did Mark Parrish go over to KHL?
We'll try him.
I don't think
He had 30 goals with the Islanders.
I don't think he did.
250 points.
About that.
Andre Preseason had a 26-goal season, but that's not good enough.
Nope. None of them.
Mark, you check Parrish? He never.
I'm checking. No. Binghamton Senators was the last one. And never had a KHL season. Kind of leaning towards Pavel Dimitri here, guys.
Hold on.
I don't think any of the I saw someone say the Koivus in the chat. I don't think any of the Koivus had KHL time.
Did Derek Roy ever play for Minnesota?
No.
No.
He played for like St. Louis, Buffalo, and Buffalo, Dallas, Vancouver, St. Louis, Nashville, and Edmonton.
Saku never played it in.
Well, Derek Roy did play in the. Oh no, he played in the KHL, but it's still not good enough
because he doesn't have 30.
He doesn't have the Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
He has the 30-goal season, the 250 games, the playoff requirements. He just doesn't have Minnesota.
Still thinking Pavel Dimitra. There probably is one other solution on
Peter Sikora.
Peter Sikora, I don't think played for the Minnesota Wild.
I thought he did at the end of his.
No.
Actually, yeah, he did. The 2009-2010 season. Peter Sikora did play for Dynamo Minsk, and he had a 35-goal season with the New Jersey Devils.
Yeah, well, he had other 30-goal seasons. He had a 30-goal season with Anaheim.
Well, now we have two, Sikora and Dimitra.
I would go Sikora.
I'd go Sikora too.
I'm gonna go.
Wait, hold on. KHL, just
you got to do the one that's
this one.
It's the one.
Well, this one.
No, try. You know what? I don't know. I don't know which one's more, Dimitra or Sikora.
I think it's Sikora.
It's Sikora.
Sikora is going to be the lower one because a lot of people are going to remember Dimitra in Minnesota. A lot of people are not going to remember him.
And on top of that, where he played at, I think Minnesota's who he ended with, and then the plane crash. They're going to remember Dimitra. So let's go. We're rolling the dice on Sikora. 57% uniqueness.
Oh, jeez.
Kaprizov.
I'm curious to see who else was in that.
All right. So the top tier guys was only going to be Kaprizov.
Yeah.
The big one that we were trying to figure out.
Oh, wow. Dimitri was
Peter Sikora was
Sikora.
Alexander Galchenyuk?
Yep.
What the fuck?
Oh, that's right. He did have a 30-goal year.
Yeah, no, he had a 30-goal year. I just didn't remember him playing in Minnesota.
Yeah.
30 goals with Montreal, or was that with...
Yes, it was 30 goals in Montreal.
And look at Sikora. Dimitri, we were totally wrong on that. 14.7, Sikora 58.
Yeah, that's terrible. We messed up big time there.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, it's hard with that. Let's get the guys that were below. Yashin were... Where was I? Yashin here. Kozlov, Satan, Yuri Hudla, Dimitra, Galchenyuk. Joe Pavelski played in the KHL. Peter Sikora would have fit right there. Kane and Buchnevich.
Wow, I can't believe Peter Sikora was higher than Pavel Dimitra there. Who the hell remembers Peter Sikora as a Minnesota Wild?
And here you go. Derek Roy would have been right there. Well, Pavel Dimitra did finish there, and I thought he had some pretty good seasons with Minnesota.
He did. He was like a point per game, like one of those years with them.
All right, going back to us, boys. Here we are. I love it. I'll cut back to us, and Anthony's gone.
Like Dimitra and Gabrick were really good together in Minnesota. Like that, this just okay.
Hello,
so
D. Ely. How we doing?
Minnesota Dimitra, 2006, 2007, 71 games, 25 goals, 64 points. 2008, 68 games played, 54 points. And then Peter Sikora in Minnesota in 2009, 2010, 14 games, 2 goals, 3 points. How the fuck is anybody remembering that over Bobble Dimitra?
And Phil, he played one season in the KHL. It wasn't like you're talking about him being a KHL mainstay or even
Maybe
Dimitra.
that's it. Maybe no. I don't. Sorry, I can't see it.
Yeah, no, it's little things like that. You're like, wait a minute.
Mark, I got my blind ranking for you.
All right, Anthony, let's fire away with that.
Here comes the troll job.
Yesterday, we did Islanders. I'm going to give you your wheelhouse today and go Rangers. Okay?
Sorry for your loss, D. Ely. That's.
I'm sorry. That's
awful.
all.
Condolences to you and your family, my man.
Yeah, all of us here have lost a parent now in our lives. So,
yeah. That's just awful to hear. Very, very, very sorry.
By the way, Todd's onto something right here. If they would have actually have done this marketing, since he's in St. Louis, you could have done Bush Nevich. It's in Anheuser-Busch.
God.
Nevich. There's your marketing right there, everybody. Bush Nevich.
Double face palm when the power of one face palm is not enough.
Oh, you should hear what Maria has to deal with. Poor girl.
Peter Sikora, when he came in, he was the first to do that backhand move. That little forehand go to the backhand up and down. I remember he did that against Atlanta. And I remember I still lived in Manorville at the time. And we had the unfinished basement, and I used to go down. And Anthony, I'm pretty sure you've been down there a couple of times. Where I had the unfinished basement and the pole, and I used to have the net down there. And I went down there, and I just did nothing but practice that move and just try to do that on any goaltender I could at the time.
I never had that move. My backhand was always the worst thing. I worked on it as I got older, but I was already in my 20s by the time it actually was something like that. Get it together.
Yeah. Oh, that's absolutely, Maria. Get it together.
Well, not that much of an accent, but still.
Oh no, that accent is strong.
Are you ready, Mariota?
Yeah.
He's Will Levis today.
All right.
After that Gretzky one.
I'm going to kick you guys off with Nigel Dawes.
Oh, it's
that's a good one. Anthony's going to throw me out some clunkers again, so I got to figure out where this goes. I'm going to set Nigel Dawes at 6.
6.
Wow, Nigel Dawes. So we're starting off with a somewhat obscure Ranger.
Somewhat obscure, productive. He was the most productive Ranger out of the 2003 draft, by the way.
That's not saying a lot.
No, it isn't. Considering I'm just as productive as the most productive as the first overall.
7. I'll go 7.
Jan Eriksson.
So Anthony firing 2 good ones out of the gate.
I'm gonna go 6.
I should have been on Filk's wavelength because now I have to go 5 on Eriksson.
Is that just
the pup okay?
Yeah. Giuseppe and playing McBruno. Mark Hardy.
10.
9.
9.
He used to get some points in
He was
NHL 92.
Yeah, I was about to say he was solid for them as like a third pairing D guy in the early 90s.
Yeah.
But I mean, his best years were in LA.
Vladimir Malakov.
I'm gonna have to. I mean, the lowest I have open is either 9 or 5, right, Anth?
You have 6, 7, and 10.
Take it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you should have 8 open and 9.
All right. I'm gonna go 5 because I have a feeling we're not gonna get a whole lot better than that, but I still want to keep the top open because I think he might throw something weird in there.
If I go for one season, Malakov was somewhat productive, but he didn't play the full season with the Rangers. So I think I'm gonna have to go all the way down to. I have to go 8 for Malakov, even though I think you're gonna get worse ones.
Valerie Kamensky.
Oh,
that one I'm gonna probably have to go. Probably gonna have to go 8.
8?
Yeah, he just was not the same player by the time he came to New York. And then I think he ended up with like an illness of some sort while he was a Ranger.
Yeah, his illness was sucking.
No, there was something that happened with him in New York. I don't remember if it was blood related or if there was something that he came down with, and I remember them trading him to Dallas, I believe. It was in Brzezinski.
Yeah, and that was in the Manny Malhotra deal, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And Todd Harvey came back, if I recall correctly, in that one.
No, Todd Harvey was no.
Okay. No, Todd Harvey was Radek Dvorak. That was Florida. Stupid. Anthony, I gotta go 10. I never liked Kamensky, even though I should probably put him higher.
Jan Holovic.
I'm gonna go 2.
I'll go 3.
Mark likes Holovic, huh?
I like Holovic. Short
Holovic
time.
was underrated. His first stint in New York was good.
His second stint,
not so much.
Yeah. There's a reason why the checkmates worked better together.
Rem Murray.
9.
That one didn't hurt Filk that much because he had 9 open. But
yeah, I gotta go. My lowest is 4, right?
7. No, you have 7.
I got 7. I'll go 7.
That's why this one is gonna. Jason Daw.
He was non-existent as a Ranger, but I'll put him at 4.
What's the lowest one I have open? 5.
You have 1, 3, and 4.
Guess I gotta put him at 4 then.
Fedor Tutin.
1.
I have 1 and 3, right?
Yeah.
Yes, 3.
And yes, I always think back to the Genesis games. That's just how I always think whenever it comes to older players. Like, that's why I think about hairdos.
Alesh Kotelik.
Oh, God, I have to put him at 1. That's terrible.
What do I got open? 3? Oh, no, 3 was Holovic.
You have
I got
2.
open 2?
Yeah.
All right, it's 2.
I guess in retrospect, you would have put Actually, it's probably not that far off. Tutin at 1, Kotelik 2, Holovic 3. Yeah, rest Dahl 4, Erickson 5.
Kotelik would be a 2 if you actually take into account his career as a whole.
I want to do one for Anthony. I want to do. I want to mess with Anthony a little bit.
I mean, Kotelik, 8 goals, 14 assists as a Ranger. He was a minus 18. I forgot about that. He was a black hole. And he was part of that deal that brought back Ole Jokinen.
Do you know exactly how many games Jason Dahl played as a Ranger, by the way?
It's very little.
It's very, very low.
1.
Yeah.
Really? All right. See, I was like Jason Dahl in his years with the Sabres. That's sort of like one of those Mandela effect things. Jason Dahl played for the Islanders. I forgot all about that.
Jason Dahl was actually good with the Sabres.
He was, good with the Sabres. Yeah.
He was very good with the
He had
Sabres.
a couple 25 goal season, 22 goal season.
A 50-point season at one point in 67 games.
Oh, I got one cooking for Anthony.
The Rangers traded for Dahl for Yevgeny Nemestikov. That's what I got, Jason Dahl.
Wait, who?
The Rangers traded from Nashville to the Rangers for Yevgeny Nemestikov.
Oh, okay. Because I have no idea who that is. I thought for a second you were talking about not Jason Dahl. What was I thinking about? There's some of those trades that like you get the player you're like, oh, I can't believe they traded. Like, I mean, again, I'll go back to Marit Zulicki being the best player in the.
This is still one of the greatest bloopers ever.
Jonathan Nelson Mandela Bernier.
You never seen that interview?
No, I never did.
Oh my God! Go YouTube that after we're done. It's one of the funniest interviews like ever. I'm not going to say anything else. I'm just watch the interview.
I think I got a friend of mine that's playing in a league with him right now.
Bernier?
Yeah, that they were like, oh yeah, the guy that was in the show, he used to play for the Devils, and I'm like, you used to play for the Devils, and I got it within 2 guesses. I think I said, oh no, actually, I think it's somebody that is. I think it's somebody that knows my brother. Yeah, that's what it is.
Mark, who do you remember more as a Ranger, Richard Lintner or Corey Cross?
I remember both of them equally, and that's bad.
Yeah,
Corey Cross was there for not even a full year, but Richard Lintner, I remember. I remember they brought him up. They got him in a trade, and they brought him up. I think it was a trade with St. Louis, and they brought him up, and they were trying to advertise him and Peter Smrek as possible defensemen in the future, and they were, oh my God, they were bad, both of them.
By the way, I wore the orange shirt again today because that had a win in it for the Mets. Let's see if there's another one. I mean, you remember Vitaly Yeremyev?
Yeah, I remember him. Vitaly Yeremyev was a goaltender for them, and
had a good first week, and then
remember JF Labe?
Barely.
Francois Labe.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Who do you think had a better future in the NHL that just didn't work out, Anthony? Jean-Francois Labe or Eric Fichaud? Because it always seemed like Fichaud was going to be this great goalie.
Yeah, Fichaud had a lot of upside for a while there. He was being marked as like the goalie of the future for the Islanders, and then I guess the wheels just fell off that bus. The Islanders announced that Josh Bailey and Cal Clutterbuck are going to have like a Manning cast type thing for the Islanders, for Islander camps.
What is it, Clutterbuck and who?
Bailey.
I could see Clutterbuck being very entertaining. I could see him being I don't know about Bailey unless he's got one of those unless he's kind of kept his personality on the down low and just hasn't let anybody see it.
I think that's very much the case, or he's the straight man for Clutterbuck, because Clutterbuck, we had him on. He was.
I mean, you definitely need the oil to vinegar. You need that yin to yang, and that could be the case. I
actually never changed the banner for this. By the way, we also got we got a couple of videos we're cooking right now.
Bet you do, Mark.
Most important shootouts of all time, and the best soundtracks of EA NHL with the music expert up there. Sorry, over there.
Oh man,
son of a gun, Mariota.
How many? All right, I have 7 so far. I need 3 more for you. Oh man. See,
I think there should always be a healthy of the best and then like an occasional like worse one in there, or just somebody to throw you off. I mean, sometimes Anthony does so much trolling. I have to be on guard.
It's the point, Mark.
That is true.
You want Rangers and Islanders play each other tomorrow, preseason?
Yeah.
Wonder if we're gonna start seeing more stars playing the games. I guess.
I think the next game. Yeah.
Is that MSG?
Not
Yes.
sure. Is
yeah,
it?
it's Adams J. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Rangers are probably going to have a veteran lineup. The Islanders might be a little bit both.
Well, they sent out the Barzell. Was it the Barzell Horvat Duclair line last year and just rolled the Rangers at the Garden? So,
Sorokin hasn't played yet. Maybe you might see him for a little bit.
Yeah. I think probably you'll see Shesterkin have the game again tomorrow. And I would rather see Dylan Garand, see what he looks like. Because I think we've seen all we need to out of Taylor Boyko.
Yeah, I don't want to see any more of Talon Boyko. Sorry, like we're done.
And see if there's any news or notes around the league while Filk is doing that.
I think I'm actually done. I just
The Islanders now. Anders Lee's out 1 to 2 weeks, so it looks like he'll probably be ready for the season. But he's going to
have enough.
1 to 2 weeks. He's out. Mark.
Anthony, gut feeling: is this Anders Lee's final season with the Rangers? The Islanders. I mean,
you know what? I thought Nelson was never going to leave the Islanders. Yeah, so honestly, I don't know. He's getting older. If the Islanders are out of it come playoff time, and Darsh May X, what are you thinking? Do you want to go somewhere? You want to try to win a cup, or do you want to stay and be a lifetime Islander? And it's going to be up to him. I don't know.
All right. I got the list.
All right. What do we got?
Let's do this, Mark. If you want to play along, you can too.
I definitely will. And by the way, as David's saying, Jackson Dart is starting.
Yeah.
So. All right, let's go.
What's the category here?
It's Islanders. It's
okay.
It's Islanders.
All right.
I'm gonna start with Joe Ricci.
Oh, Joe Ricci. That Didic era. Not much offense to his game. I'm gonna go 8.
I'll go 7. Thought he was a good player.
No, he was okay, but I just.
Well, but again, got to prepare yourself for worse ones.
Yeah.
Gonna go Travis Green.
Travis Green was.
I think Phil's going to give us some more good players, but go ahead, Anthony.
I'm gonna go. I'll do 6 at Green.
Okay.
I'll go one better at 5. I think you're going to give me 4 more good ones.
Okay. So Mark went 5. Anthony went 6.
6, yeah. Remember Travis Green Palpy kissed after a goal.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Travis Green seemed to be very insistent on it.
Yeah.
Gonna go Justin Papineau.
Oh, that was a good trade. He was in. He was hoping that he was going to be good. Never panned out. I'll go 10.
I got to go 10 too.
Okay.
So I got 6, 8, 10.
Okay. Derek King.
That was a good one. He
former 30 goal scorer for the Islanders.
he was
One score too.
I'll go 4.
I'll go 4 too.
All right. Ryan Smolinski.
King of 4.
He had a productive stretch with the Islanders.
Yeah, he was on the one I did yesterday. I think, I mean, if we have King at 4, he was a long-time Islander and had more. I got to put him behind. I guess I have Green at 6, so I'll do Smolinski at 5.
I think I got 7 covered, so I got to go to 8.
Okay.
Because I think Smolinski, the thing about him is he had that short burst with the Islanders. I think we're going to get a couple more longer guys.
Okay. So you have him at Anthony. You said 5, right?
Yeah.
And Mark, you said 8, right?
8, yeah.
Just want to make sure I have that down. Okay. Rhett Rakshani.
9.
Mark, 9. Okay.
I have King at 4, Swansea at 5, Green at 6. I had Riki at. Do I still have? Do I put
Anthony,
Papineau?
you have, or I'll give you what you have used.
I put Papineau at 10, right?
8 was Riki, 6
Yeah.
was Green, 10 was Papineau, 4 was King, 5 was Smolinski.
All right, so I got to put Rakshani at 9.
And you both put him at 9 then, okay.
So I have 4, 5,
Who
6.
do I have? All right, you know what? I'm going to start getting rid of some of these other names that I
So I have
used
1,
already.
3, 7.
So this way I'm not looking through them and
Yeah.
using them again.
So I think I have 1, 2, 3, 7.
This is what the hard part is. You got to get the order right.
Yeah, got 1, 2, 3, 7.
That's used. That's used. Okay, so there are 4 spots left. Okay. You guys have 4 spots left. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So yeah, so there's 4 names left. Brian Strait.
Well, I got to put him at 7.
Yeah, what do I got the lowest? 7?
All right, so Mark, you have 7, 5, 10, 4, 8, and 9 used.
7. Go with 7.
No, you have 7 used already.
Okay, so 8.
You have 8. I gave you the numbers you used already.
Okay, so just not 6.
All right, so you what you have open is 1, 2, 3, and 6.
I got to go 6, and I'm at your mercy now in the last 3.
Yeah. So you put Smolinski too low. You had him at 8.
Right, but he wasn't there that long.
Yeah. I mean, still straight at 7 3 is not terrible. I mean, and if I could, perfect world, I'd switch Riki and straight. But
Just to be certain, that's straight, not straight.
No, it's Brian Strait, not Mark Strait.
Yeah.
I know. I
Anthony,
think he knows who it
where
is.
are you going with Brian Strait?
I said 7.
Oh, you said 7. Okay.
Yeah. So now I'm at his mercy too. I only have 1, 2, 3 left.
All right, so let me get rid of that one. Justin Mappletoft.
Oh, another one like Papineau. They were high on him. I don't. Could you give me worse? Sure, but I'll go 3.
I got to go 3 too. Like I said, I'm at your mercy.
All right.
Yeah. Mappletoft, Papineau. They were supposed to be like the new wave of Islanders in those like early 2000s, and none of them ever did anything.
2 left. Dan Plant.
Two.
Anthony's reaction was great.
I mean, I still have him over Mapletop any day, so 2, but I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, Dan Plant, whose significance was being one of 3 Islanders to score a goal in the 94 sweep.
Yeah. Oh, man, who's at 1?
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Number 1 is Mick Vukota.
Yeah.
Once again,
oh, man, I love it. I got Anthony back for that one.
Fastest hat trick in Islanders history from a guy that scored 12 goals in his career.
I should have known better and put Derek King at 1. I should have. I should have put him at 1. When I got King, I should have went immediately to number 1.
When I got him with Dan Plant, that was just
against my better judgment, I went with 4 and I should have done 1.
And Mike put Smolinski at 8. I was like, yes.
Well, I was Mark at 8.
If you put Smolinski at 5, I wanted to jump out of my chair. So I was just like, oh my God, I got him. I was like, that was the last one.
By the way, and Maria's right about this. Anthony's reaction is priceless because that's what he usually does to us.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, their biggest goon, number 1. That's something. Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right, guys.
At least, Mark, he did have that hat trick, right? The fastest hat trick.
The fastest hat trick in Islander history, and I can't. As soon as I saw that as a trivia question, I'm going, "Are you kidding?" What was that? A season when he scored 4 goals, 3 of them were the fastest ever in Islander history.
Yeah. Him and Ken Baumgartner are the 2 of the Islanders' biggest known fighters.
I was thinking of making it a list of absolute punks and like players who like barely played for them. I was going to put Robert Nilsson in there at one point. I couldn't put Ryan O'Mara because I don't even think he played a game with.
He didn't. No, I don't think he played a game for him. He was just
a draft pick, but he wasn't.
Yeah. That was the
man.
That was the 04 draft or 05?
05 was O'Mara. He was 15th overall.
Yeah.
Oh man. I should have thrown in like Petteri Nokalainen just to like throw you off a little bit. Oh man, I was thinking about.
He was 04 then, right?
Yeah, he was
04. Yeah.
That was the big Finland U18 line here, where it was Nokalainen centering Korpikoski and Tukkin.
Yeah.
Where it's Tukkin in.
You know what the best part is? I went to a game in '96 right behind the Islanders' net, and because my father knew Damian Filiberto, who was with Filco Karting, and he had seats 4 rows, maybe 3 rows up off the ice, and I saw Dan Plant actually score a goal for the New York Islanders in person. So, I mean, he wasn't anywhere what his brother was, but back then the Islanders had a lot of that going around. They had somebody's brother on the team. Brett Lindros, Dan Plant.
I don't think Dan Plant was related to Derek.
Really?
No, I don't think he was. No, he wasn't because he was American born. Derek Plant, I think, was he Canadian?
Probably. I might be, or Swiss, maybe.
No, Derek Plant was from Minnesota. Okay. But no, so Derek has 2 sons, Max, who was taken in the 2024 draft in the 2nd round by Detroit, and then Zam, who was born in Germany, but was a 2022 5th round pick by Pittsburgh.
Derek Plant, who had the OT winner to knock out the Ottawa Senators in '97. It was the Ottawa Senators, right? Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, because they beat. Oh, that's right. Because that was that the Richard Schmelik with the wounded duck on Thanksgiving call?
It
No,
might have been,
that was regular season. That's right.
That was a regular season, but I think
No,
because,
it was,
that was the postseason where Hasek was pulling some shenanigans.
and that's right. That was the "Are you ready?" Legion of Doom call. Yeah, that was that one.
And then Matt Barnaby with the Mother's Day hat trick.
Yeah. Oh man, Matt Barnaby with a Mother's Day hat trick.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which
I'll always remember the Mother's Day miracle with Marty St. Louis. Never forget that one.
Yeah. I mean, it was a save rebound. It hit off his shin and went in, but
it doesn't matter. It was just everything that happened at that time. And that was just such a galvanizing moment.
Again, I still argue that given for everything that he went through in his life, that no, I just forgot his name. Dominic Moore was able to score the goal to put the team that drafted him into the Stanley Cup Finals and him into the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time in his career.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about that guy's had it. That guy, I mean, his wife, I mean, his brother.
Yeah.
What else is the world going to throw at that guy?
I know. It's like for your loved ones, you're always like, come on, world, give this person a break. In that case, for him, yeah. I mean, that's a lot that he had to deal with. A lot. We're going to see if anybody's got questions over the next 8 minutes. We're going to wrap it up at 4:30, guys. Might wrap it up now in case nobody's got any questions. We had a little bit more fun today. There's going to be a lot more editing for me, probably starting tomorrow. It doesn't look like Ryder Cup is in my future tomorrow because it's going to be, you're saying, a ton of rain all day tomorrow.
Woof.
Starting at 10 o'clock tonight.
Woof.
So, c'est la vie. So I'll be at Croker's tomorrow night to watch the Ranger game and the football game
tomorrow night too.
Yeah. Which I got to check my fantasy team. My fantasy team is just ugh. Well, I auto drafted because we were away, and I wasn't going to waste our minutes or our time together. More importantly, on
let's go to Mr. Graves here with this one. Yeah, I want him away from Panarin. I do. I think Panarin has had a bad effect on him. I know he had that real good season 2 years ago. But I just think Panarin rubs off the wrong way on him. And I think in order for him to take the next step in his career, he's got to be serious about his offseason regimens. And he's got to be serious on a night-to-night basis. And I think JT Miller is going to hold him and Mika Zibanejad accountable. You're playing on a line with the captain. Like, you better show up to work, buddy. You better show up with your damn lunch pail. And I would rather see Will Cooley play with Tkachuk and Panarin, because that's a guy that's going to go out there and he's going to lead by example. And he's not going to take any shifts off. And that'll rub off on Artemi Panarin, hopefully.
I actually think this is where JT Miller is a good influence on Alexei Lafreniere. Because I think JT Miller probably felt, especially in his time with the Rangers, he's blocked. He's not going to be able to really get to be the player that he wants to be and flourish. And he probably came to the ice, especially in his last years and his last games as a New York Ranger, with a bit of an attitude. And he goes around to Tampa thinking he might have the chance. And maybe there's something there where he might have had the chance there, but then he probably felt like he was blocked again. He's on a loaded team, even though they were giving him top line minutes where they was playing with Stamkos. So, and then He gets moved to Vancouver, and everything snapped in for him there. So I think JT needs to bring that experience to him and that fear of God, because Alexei Lafreniere should be a better player than what he is right now.
Yeah, that's without question.
And I think Alexei Lafreniere, for the most part, I always kind of thought he had the mentality to succeed in this league, Phil. But the thing is, and I thought he had the moxie to do that. But you watch him, he has tried to make it on talent alone. You can't make it on talent alone. You don't have enough talent to win on talent alone, a la Herb Brooks. And there's the league is littered. Every professional sports team is littered with guys that have the talent, but not the brains. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's time. It's time to get serious. Like this is put up or shut up. And I think that it's big for me because when I look at a player that might end up needing a change of scenery if he doesn't get his shit in check, it's this man right here. And he's got an 8-team no trade list. So he doesn't have full trade protection. He's only got 8 teams that he can go to. If he doesn't get it right, the Rangers have all the leverage to be like, we're going to move you. Like, if you want to be here, show us.
Yeah, and I think, by the way, that's the other thing too, Phil. There needs to be a feeling from the New York Rangers that they're in, that they're ready to do this, and be the team that they think they could be. So and the player, they need to show him, you're a centerpiece. We're going to do this for you. Because again, it's frustrating for me as just on the outside, being an analyst now, more than a fan analyzing the team and going, what other NHL team has ever drafted a first overall pick and a second overall pick and not only told them you got to earn your time, but you're going to be third liners? The team conforms to them, not the other way around. You got to show you got to show that you got to invest in them just as much as they have to invest in you. And that's where the Rangers were wrong. And that's why you almost wish that they didn't win those 2 lotteries. If they didn't win those 2 lotteries, they'd probably end up with Trevor Zegras and Jamie Drysdale, or players that are lower. And maybe they end up get Dawson Mercer, who would have fit them better by now.
Here's my thing. What if they didn't win? They didn't get the number 2 pick in 2019, and they end up taking like Moritz Seider. They take Moritz Seider, and then in 2020, they take Quentin Byfield instead of Alexei Lafreniere. Like, you don't have to go out and get Vinny Trocheck then at that point. You have a center. You have a better defenseman. What if you don't take Keandre Miller?
Yeah.
Like,
first off, what if you locked Gordy Clark out of the room?
Well, Vitaly Kravtsov doesn't get taken if that's the freaking case.
And I tried to defend that pick for a while, Phil, because I know Brian McCabe. All right, I just gave up my information on that one. But Brian McCabe said that that Florida was looking at taking him. But again, that was at like 15, 16.
I can believe that because of the fact that they took Denisenko.
Yeah.
That's why I could believe that. Because they were teammates at the junior level on the Russian national teams.
And look, we were just talking about it. Vitaly Kravtsov. He tried to do it all on talent.
He would have been a pretty good pick at 15, but you missed Evan Bouchard right afterwards, and you ended up taking 2 defensemen in the next round of that draft. You don't take him. If you take Bouchard, and then you don't have to take Keandre Miller at that point, even though Keandre Miller, I mean, really the best player that came after Dobson was probably either Keandre Miller or I don't know, maybe Joel Farabee at 14. I mean, or Rasmus Sandin at 29. I mean, if you take Sandin over Lundqvist, and I know when I talked to Sam Cosentino at the draft, he told me a couple of things. He told me, one, that Sandin fell due to his conditioning. He did not test well at the combine. The other thing he told me was that Kravtsov was all over the place in first round. He was probably the hardest player to judge out of anybody that went in the first round because he played across 3 separate levels of hockey in one season. He went from like he went from the league below the VHL to the VHL to the KHL all in 1 year, and then actually played well in the KHL playoffs. And he was one of those like fast risers, and those guys are usually very hard to peg because sometimes you're having a hot year, and that's what it is. But yeah, I mean, I could still see what you were saying about Florida possibly taking him because they took Denisenko, so that is possible. It's not like where the rumors were going on where Dallas was going to take McElroy. No, I don't buy that one at all. I don't. Sorry.
Well, we're going to get the music started right now, guys. So if you have any other questions, throw them on in. I know we've been going at it for a good 3 hours and 24 minutes. We have done a lot of broadcasting the last week. This almost gets close to rivaling what we did draft week, where you're talking about almost 20 hours in that 1 week of shows, which is quite amazing. Although the last 2 weeks, let's see, we had about 3 hours, maybe 3.5. We were 3.5 yesterday, well over 4.5 hours with the Rangers stream too.
Yeah.
So we're putting in the work, and I know you guys are watching, so thanks.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for joining in with us for both of these. Everybody who was there.
Oh, sorry, Phil. Wrong one.
I was about to say.
No, it wasn't you.
No, I know. Thank you for all of us, or all of you who joined, not only on today's stream, but the Rangers and the Islanders season previews. We got a surprisingly high amount of viewers on the Islander stream. I definitely want to get more Islander fans into these streams, though. I mean, it's not that I don't like having the Ranger fans in the chats, but definitely want to see more Islander fans in there as well. I do think we need to work on getting another Islander voice in here.
Yeah. Chris, with a little bit of I think it's a little bit of a hot take right here. He's saying Panthers lose in the first round, just a hunch. It could happen. There's a lot of wear and tear in there, but we just think their mindset and the talent on that team, and they'll probably lose a couple guys before the playoffs start, and they're gonna find guys. They'll identify who can replace those guys and put them in, and that's it. Like, I mean, look at it last year. They went Seth Jones and Brad Marchand to do that. And, I mean, you still had, if you look at the year before, I hope I don't butcher his name. Was it Stenslin? That was
Stenlin.
Yeah, the fourth liner. They were able to get Kyle Opozo in there. There were times where you're like, please, the Panthers are running scared. And then you're like, no, they're not. They're just change up the way they play, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Todd, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate that, Todd. But I mean, if I look at that team, and everything is like plug and play with them. It's you buy in, you have that type of leadership, And this is why leadership's important. I mean, my uncle was right. Them not having a captain and not having a solid captain for a while, and then putting Jacob Trouba there, that really hurt the team. And I mean, I watched the Steve Dangle segment on it, but I honestly, I think Steve Dangle and them were right. Like, they needed an alpha male, and that's what JT Miller is. So I disagree with this completely. I think they're going to pull 2,000 Yankees.
I think, all right, 2,000 Yankees, yeah, where it's just get us in and then
that's all.
And then we'll do that.
And they don't care about the regular season. They don't.
And Filk, you bring up a great point with that. Let's use them as an example. You had the 96 Yankees, which sort of had to overachieve, and they were a wild card team. They made the playoffs. Then you had the 98 Yankees that were upset by the Cleveland Indians the year before, and they just said, we're going to let it fly. They did. They went out and absolutely crushed it in the regular season, crushed it in the postseason, and I think they only lost 2 games, and that was to the Cleveland Indians.
In 98, yeah.
In 98. And that's just the way they were. And then once you have that winning mentality and that winning strategy, you know it could fit in. Like, I mean, even Jose Canseco had something to do with the 98 Yankees. But that's the reason why we talk about Luis Solo.
With the 2000 Yankees.
The 2000 I meant to say. That's what I meant to say. 98 Yankees, I think, is the best team ever assembled.
Ever. Yeah,
Ever.
They only lost 2 games to the Cleveland Indians. They swept the division series in Texas. They won 4-2 over Cleveland, and then they swept San Diego with the Tino Martinez grand slam.
Yeah. Now, I agree with you right here about the heart of the team and the health of the team. I mean, of how they're going to do, but they're gonna rebound. They're going to recover. They know their own bodies. Everybody that's on that team. Brad Marchand's made 2 Stanley Cup Finals before winning this one with the Panthers. He obviously won one in 2011 with the Boston Bruins and was there in 2019 as well. And as a matter of fact, 3 Stanley Cup Finals. We got about 2013.
Yeah.
So you're talking about guys that know how to win and know how to get there. And once you have that, you can't quantify that good enough. That's why Jonathan Tave's actually such a good influence for the Winnipeg Jets, regardless of whatever he does on the ice. The Jets they probably were trying to propel themselves a little bit more for the regular season, win the President's Trophy, and then take care of everything else after that. Sometimes you can burn yourself out. Think the President's Trophy is the I Ching, the best thing that you could reach for. Or, hey, we already won one award. Even though the Stanley Cup is what drives everybody, and you know about the rumors that nobody ever touches the President's Trophy. Hell, Mark Messier held it up in 1994. So it's not really that. Sometimes curses are just, or superstitions are just that, or the mindset is, we have this award, that's not the one we want. Sort of like the conference finals awards.
Yeah.
But again, Mark Messier held up the Wales Conference Trophy. It's just go ahead, keep grabbing everything you can and get it on the way up. It's sort of the reason why baseball celebrates with champagne toasts every single round that somebody wins, because it's a long season. These guys have earned it, and that's what they're thinking. We earned it. Baseball has this mental reset that they have to do. Hockey players just look over and go, our goal is the Stanley Cup. That's the only thing that matters. And that's what the Florida Panthers are doing right now. And because they learned it the hard way. They won the President's Trophy. They got blown out of the building by a team that knew how to win, that did the same thing before. The Tampa Bay Lightning won the President's Trophy. They were the greatest team ever to get on the NHL ice. And what happened? The Columbus Blue Jackets says we don't care and booted them in 4 games. And it was rather distressing. So that's why I'll look at the Florida Panthers and go, this team knows what they want from top to bottom, from the general manager and the president and the owner to the stick boy. They know what it takes to win, and the owners enable the general manager. The general manager knows the rules, the CBA like the back of his hand. He knows how to circumvent things legally, which is an important thing. And it'll be interesting to see if they can do that again. Todd, I'd love to be a Grand Funk Railroad. This is my cousin Phil. This is Phil Antonucci. His song is called Bye Bye. It was from an album he did called The Flant Files back in the late 90s. And I always play this off. I want to make this available for everybody to download and get in there. It's a great song. It's fantastic. But I have to speak to my cousin first before he passed away, so it would be to his family. But yeah, there is definitely that rock influence from back in that era from him. That's when he grew up. He actually used to play in a band called Those Old Bastards, as well as several other bands. So it was those guys, they could jam. The other thing, by the way, fun fact, one more about my cousin Phil. He was the guitarist for Billy Joel when he recorded Nylon Curtain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I think in the documentary, I think they had a picture of him when Billy was recording Nylon Curtain. But the stories that he used to tell, I am not telling on here.
Yeah, also, I was just saying, I've heard some interesting things. So
yeah, and good Godspeed to Billy and on his. Hope he's gonna do well and get back out there because I was so happy to see his latest performance, which was in New Year's Eve last year. So that was great. All right, everybody, thank you very much for joining us at Big Apple Hockey. Can't wait to see you again next week and soon. Phil, last word.
Yeah, well, hockey tomorrow night.
There we go.